bastard sermon, you motherfuckers.
Welcome to another episode of the Bastard Sermon. I'm one of your three hosts, Cody Hucker.
Patrick Seda.
Luke Young.
And everyone, give it up for the triumphant return of Mark motherfucking Borison. Round of applause, bitches. Oh, it's the weakest fucking round of applause. It's from Zoom again. We need these shots.
That's because I fucked all of your moms.
Oh.
They're like, yeah, golf clap.
Yes, I mean, I guess
My mom said it was fine.
Dude, welcome back. It's been so long, man.
Dude, seriously, thank you guys for having me. I really
Always.
appreciate it. I know we've had kind of an odd year, but
For sure.
That's a fact.
Yeah, Mark, I mean, I just want to say thanks for fucking my mom. I mean, she was really into it. She wrote a great Yelp review.
Look, I'm a tender, caring lover. I'm a giver, and I think she responded to that. So
yeah, she said that you gave her a banana afterwards, got her niacin back up, so everything was great.
Oh, banana!
Yeah,
oh, you have
Box
no
of
idea how accurate
chocolates.
that's going to be soon.
Started the bath, you know.
Someone's going to listen to this podcast in 3 months and go, "Oh, he was referring to that." I have a secret project I can't really talk about yet, but
I've
been
banana
seeing you post
related.
about it, and it's been getting me jazzed up.
dude,
to
I
find out
can't
what
wait.
it is,
You
man.
guys in particular will be very appreciative of
I'm
what's going
so
on.
excited, man.
Dude,
Oh, I wish I could tell you. I'll tell
Can
you.
you give
off
like
air.
a little snippet so people that are listening understand?
I mean, it really just has to do with a few. Pretty much, here's what I will say. I am producing I am involved now with 2 new podcasts this year. One I can talk about. That's already launched. And then the other one is one I can't talk about yet. But my whole secret project is all around that podcast and something that will facilitate my ability to produce it. I'll say it that way.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah, brother.
I think the
I'll
last
tell
time
you guys
on the
off air.
grind, man. Every day I'm seeing you post something new about grind, and I'm like, how?
I'm the biggest Mark Borison fan. Like, you don't understand.
He
Like,
jacks off to
whenever I
all
see
your
you
Facebook
post some
pictures.
Sort of like success. Like, I remember when you posted, this was recent, the status where like, I just got something really big and exciting for you guys. I can't talk about it yet, but it's going to be a huge and I was laying next to my girlfriend in bed when I was reading that. I was like, God damn it, Mark is always doing something fucking
Dude,
awesome.
I pride myself on always engaging however I can. And I kind of realized that in some regards, it's to make up for not doing enough when I was younger.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh shit, all of those dreams are totally attainable. And everyone that told me otherwise was totally full of shit. And so now I'm just constantly running, even though I can't really run physically very well.
Dude, you're for real an inspiration to go-getters or like people that want to do what they want to do, or be a self-made individual. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, thank
this
you.
I mean, seriously, this podcast, obviously I've said it a million times, is something I would like to make a career in the future, but also something that would help me reach into other venues. And you're just like, nah, I'm not waiting for one thing to grow to get into other ventures. I'm doing everything at once. You've got the marketing, you've got that going on, you've got your YouTube videos going on, which are always banger. You've got movies, you've got obviously podcasts in the work. Like, you're doing everything everywhere, and it's like, fuck, I need to figure out how to do at least one more of those things.
Dude, the thing while you were saying that, it made me think of this. Apparently Morrison wants to be on the podcast. The dog is in my lap suddenly. He hasn't given a shit about me all day. Now he's just like, hey, are you talking into a mic? But all kidding aside, something I kept thinking about is how at some point, originally it was just going to be entertainers, but I feel like all of us are now doctors, right? Like, we kind of have to always be on our phones for one reason or another.
Yeah.
Like, you're always on call. And so what's sort of shitty, and funny enough, I had a conversation with this last night, and there's definitely, you have to be doing this, right? You guys know, I mean, you're doing social for the page, you've got a Patreon going too. So you totally get that there's like multiple steps and kind of just bullshit, right? That you have to do. Yeah. And so for me, I look at it like, when I first started trying to be an actor, I couldn't get any work. And I was like, well, I've been making videos for a while, so maybe I should just make something I can act in and fuck everybody else. And then I did, and it went pretty well. And then I was like, oh, I should just keep doing this. So, like, you know, when everything, if you kind of look at my overall life goal, it's just sort of be a host or a personality. I love acting as well. Sorry, my personality, I try to be very genuine. but I love acting and performing for people. So it's like, if you look at everything I'm doing, it's all kind of in the ballpark, right? Like,
Yeah.
the podcasts are just me sort of flexing, hey, this is who I am, and I've got these thoughts and blah, blah, blah. You know, I mean, literally what I'm doing with you guys right now, just sort of bullshitting. And I think that's the key. So my advice, if you would like it, is just think about all those different things. You know, I'm working on a sketch comedy show right now because we did one a few months back, and we're like, oh, that was a lot of fun. And the guy writing it wants to just write a ton of shit. And so it's been kind of cool for me in like
God, God, sketch comedy, another fucking brilliant thing to be a part of. God
Dude,
damn it, Mark, you're
and
amazing.
I don't know. The thing is, I don't know how like regular the productions will be, right? That's sort of the shitty part about me having, somebody said today, I have my fingers in every pie. Thank you. Yeah, no, it's occasionally I wonder if I've got my hands in too many things at once, but I think overall I'm still pretty high energy. So I think I'm usually good. Look, if I have an opportunity and I'm awake, I'll go do it, you know, and I'm not against getting up too early to do it, whatever it takes. I mean, really at some point I think about it like this. I'm not the most handsome man on the planet, but I'm in the top 5. But you know, it's like, I'm not going to be the top 5 of any skill set I have necessarily. But one of the skill sets I think I will be really good at is working hard. And I think I'm talented enough that once it's like the two things, it's like, is he an idiot? Because there's a lot of driven people who fucking suck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've seen bad movies before they exist, right? You know what I mean? And so it's that thing where it's like, I think I've got a good line of maybe self-awareness, because I won't release bad shit I do. It'll just disappear. I'm like, well, whatever that post is about didn't fucking matter. So,
well, and you'll fucking go for it with whatever, like the hands and all the different pies. Like, it was a long time ago, back before COVID and shit, but I went to a random open mic at Urban Artifact and happened to like, hey, Cody, and I turn around and it's Mark Borison hanging out with his friends. Like, I'm like, what's going on, man? I came to see the fucking comedy show. And he's like, oh, yeah, you going up? Like, fuck no. Like, oh, I am. I was like, oh, you do comedy? Like, no, never. First time. I was like, okay, like, fucking have fun. And he gets up there and he's got good material, like, written out. He was a little too, like, speedy on it, but that comes with, like, being nervous the first time you're on stage ever. But I was like, wow, well-written jokes. Like, you sat down and planned this shit out and thought about it. And then I'm like, and you're doing Radio Artifact, and you're doing your fucking movies. And I was thinking about the same shit. I was like, you just go for it. Like, you're like, I don't care if I'm bad at it. Like, I'm going to fucking get good at it. And the only way that you're going to get good at it is by getting out. So, Luke, you keep talking about fucking doing it. Stop talking about it and just do it. Like, stop sucking Mark's dick and go out there and fucking start you a YouTube
I've been
channel.
writing.
Put that shit out there, buddy.
Hear me out. Continue to suck it.
And play with the balls a little bit. Just a
you know,
wiggle.
I felt good about the stand-up thing, and I always feel shitty about this because you're 110% accurate. As it is, I'm already a fast talker, and then, like you said, anxiety, nerves, whatever.
Sure, it happens to everyone.
It cranks it up, and that's all. That's been a pacing thing I've really struggled with throughout my acting career in general. And I think what's funny is, like, I think quarantine's kind of helped in the last year or so. Just even going over some of the movie auditions I've done the last few months, where I'm like, oh, those are much better than they were a year ago. But, you know, going back to, I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't good. I've watched comedians my whole life. I know what a shitty stand-up set sounds like.
Sure.
And even if I wrote it, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not going to go ahead and do this in front of people. I waited until I felt pretty confident, you know, because everyone's like, you're going to fucking bomb your first time. I'm like, no. I'm very good at things. Yeah, you really don't have to. You just think harder and waste more of your time preparing for it.
Like, do you think that it's funny?
For the kind words.
Is it going to make you laugh? Like, it came across as like, yeah, you sat there and you're like, this would make me laugh if I heard somebody else say it. So I'm going to write this down and this will be part of the thing. It was a solid 5-minute fucking thing. Yeah, you killed
Thanks,
it.
Dude.
I
always think about if you get into a conversation with someone, I was like, would I say this at like an event and it would go up? Would people laugh or would they be like, okay, that's weird? And depending on what the people looked like, maybe it would be good. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Cody.
Oh, you're good. I wanted to transition it just because I felt like it fit in so perfectly. I already had these trailers pulled up because I had just heard about this guy. I've been talking about it with someone, and she gave me all this information on this movie director. You might be familiar, Mark, and I wanted to cue it up specifically for you because it goes right into that whole thing of like putting your hands in a bunch of different pies and trying stuff out. So this guy fucking is the king of just being like, fuck yeah, I'm going to get out there. I'm going to make movies. Like, I'm going to keep making movies. And I'll let you guys decide for yourself. Are you familiar with Neil Breen?
As soon as you said you were excited to show me, I was like, I had a short list and Neil was definitely near the top.
Oh man.
Oh man, this will be exciting.
Okay, here we go. So there's two that I want to show you. Before I show you either of his film trailers, let me just so you can see what the amount of respect that the online community has for him. Here's the picture that they use for his Wikipedia page.
Wow.
How do you guys feel about that? Luke, can you read us who Neil Breen is before I fucking queue up a couple of these trailers?
Yeah. Neil Breen is an American independent filmmaker and actor. His films have garnered a cult following for their alternative acting, writing, and editing, and no-budget production values.
Okay.
Alternative acting. That's what we're calling it.
Obviously written by
It's
this
not
man.
mainstream acting. It's alternative acting.
These trailers are the longest fucking trailers of all time. Mark, you're in the industry. What's your standard trailer? Like, if you're gonna make a movie trailer, what's the go-to like amount of time?
I feel like these days it's it depends. If you're going a full trailer, maybe 2 minutes, maybe
Right.
2.5 at most.
Like, if
but
you're
even
getting
then, you're
crazy.
still talking like 2.5 minutes is like an Avengers Endgame thing where you're like, oh, this is the culmination of a series. That would make sense. I would say 2 minutes, and a teaser trailer is probably maybe 60 seconds. So I'm glad that he thought twice the length, twice as good.
Yeah, and oh boy, is it! It's phenomenal. Hold on, let me just give you a little
He
taste.
probably put all the good parts in it.
This, what good parts? Let me lead with what good parts.
The freeze frame looks all right. I love it. Looks like a PlayStation 2 game. But
Wait,
aside from that,
oh man, I
Yeah,
thought the
that's what I'm
same thing.
thinking.
I found this because I found this organically. It
Jack
wasn't a
and the
Reddit
power of
find.
juju.
Nobody told me about it. I was on YouTube, and then it popped up. It was like next to like Terminator. It was next to fucking like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and then it was like Twisted Pair. I was like, huh? Like, what is this fucking bullshit? And then I clicked on it, and I was super excited to find this. This is the not as good one. I'll play the really good one next, but let's just lead into it.
perfect Coldplay. The soundtrack.
My name is
Fucking
Cade.
Christ.
I have an identical twin brother, Kale. Then one day it all changed. There was a bright
What the
light in the
fuck?
sky, and time stood still.
Pat, was there something that you wanted to say?
What the fuck? What kind of fever dream is this?
That's
that
his
we're
twin
watching
brother,
here?
Cade. That's Cade, and that's Kale. What are you missing here? It's all
Just
pretty-
go on, play it.
And then one day everything changed.
What are
So
you
far,
missing
pretty
here?
easy plot to follow.
We're both selected. The pure majesty of
Oh my
nature.
God.
That's a green screen.
No, that's not a
It's
green
such
screen,
a
Pat.
shitty- This trailer is so shitty so
That's
far.
not a green
and I don't
screen.
even. We're only 42 seconds in, which is 1/4 of this whole long as fuck trailer. Go on.
That leap out of that fourth story
Oh my
window
gosh.
to safety was incredible.
It was amazing. I don't see how Pat's thinks that it's a green. That looks so real. Can we go
Hey,
back?
it's just a trailer. It's just, maybe I'm wrong.
Mark, what about
See
this
what
looks
the Rotten
fake?
Tomatoes says afterward.
What about
Oh man.
Mark? You're
I
He
could go
fucking
on
blew
for days.
Skidoo Weekend 2 out of that fucking explosion.
I think all the problem, not to go full corridor digital on you, but and if you guys don't watch your channel, you totally should. But I think the main thing is like obvious. I mean, from the jump, my answer was the lighting's totally different and the physics don't work at all. I mean, it literally looks like clip art. It looks like something you would have done in a PowerPoint presentation on accident in 5th grade.
yeah. It's
You're like,
so-
oh, here's the third president of America, and it flies across.
It's so bad, and he keeps doing it. That's the best
I can't
part.
wait.
He blew skidoos across this entire trailer. It's phenomenal. It's the best fucking trailer I've ever.
Programmable virtual reality, the corrupt version.
What? Programmable virtual reality, the corrupt version, and she hands him a little tiny orb. It looks like he's sitting inside of like the 4th floor of like some psychiatrist's office or some shit like that, and it's just an orb that he's holding. And I like that they add the effect on the shirt. Watch when he brings it over to him.
A limitless
Oh,
digital
yeah.
universe. Connecting all shared virtual
Oh.
reality.
Hold on, pause it for a second. What is
Digital.
he rubbing his hand down on? It wasn't even on the screen. Did
Uh,
you notice that?
It's because this lady isn't. He didn't really pay to have this lady here. He's stolen somebody else's shit and
Yeah,
then
it's like stock footage.
superimposed him.
It's amazing.
It's incredible.
Bribes.
God.
Holy
I
shit.
miss what I never knew.
I'll take
You're
you
a
out to
creep.
dinner.
Leave me alone. I have a boyfriend.
Let's have
Get
it.
out of my
Let's
face.
have a
Leave me
drink.
alone.
Let's have a drink.
Leave me alone.
Let's have
I
a
have
drink.
a boyfriend.
I'll meet
Get
you
out of my
back
face.
here at 8:00.
I miss my brother.
Oh my God, yes.
Okay,
It's
so
an evil bender.
so nobody you have
It
to
was.
guys listening to us just laugh at this. You got to fucking actually look it up because we don't have video for the podcast right now. But so it's him, and then he's filmed himself again, and he's got the all-time shittiest fake beard ever that he could have ever strapped to his face, and that's looking off in
I don't
another
think
direction.
that's
It looks like a
actually
wax
on
figure.
his face. I don't think that's actually on his
Yeah,
face.
look at the spot right beneath his lip where it like looks like
Yeah.
a Photoshop.
Yeah.
No, it
I
is
think-
because
I
there's
think
another
he
scene.
also photoshopped the beard
Oh.
on.
No, you'll see. No, you'll see.
I think
There-
this should be the screenshot for this the thumbnail for this episode of the podcast, and I'll shop my face onto these two versions.
Yes.
I'll for sure do
Yes!
that. I'll make that Photoshop. Let's do that. Hold on. There's
I'm
another
with you.
scene. It's just so bad that hold on. There it is. There it is. I'll just fast forward because you're missing nothing.
Who am I?
Oh,
Jesus
What am I?
Christ.
It's the
Who am
worst.
I?
Holy shit.
What am
Well,
I?
All right. Hold on. Let's make some theories. I'm gonna go ahead and guess twin brother Cade is from the corrupt alternate virtual
That's Kale.
reality.
Luke, are you not paying attention to this
Fuck!
masterful trailer? That's Kale, not Cade.
All right,
Fucking
Kale.
idiot.
Kale comes from the
Stupidest
programmable
person I've ever
virtual
met.
alternate reality.
Good guess.
That's
Luke.
corrupted.
I would never waste my time watching this movie, so you'll never know the answer unless you
I
watch
think
it for
the brothers
yourself.
are going to
but-
get married. This is a
I-
romantic comedy, right?
yeah, I think I gotta agree with you, Patrick. I just can't get past the fact that every time they got light in this movie, it's like he drove up Neil's 1993 Honda Accord and turned the lights on the side.
Yeah.
And it's always just like one headlight.
Dude, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh my god! Like when he was in the lab, I was just like, "What lab would look like this? This is incredibly."
Oh my god, we gotta keep going. I'm sorry to keep doing this.
It's
We're gonna
a
do
killer?
two full trailers.
I
for
wanna
this
finish
Neil
it.
Breen.
Identifiable DNA.
See, there's the car lighting.
Jesus.
Hold on, wait. Watch how he executes this man. Is this like if you were to execute somebody? Is this your go-to execution shot right here? Right in the dick.
Shoot him in the leg.
Right in the dick. He just gun all the way up, all the way down to his penis, and just bam, and then he falls over dead.
I just don't even know what to say now.
Also,
Yeah.
how good is that set design, Mark? As a
Hold on,
person that's
hold on.
worked in film production before, how
I'm
good
gonna
is
go
that?
ahead.
You know
Rate
what's
this.
hilarious about that is the end scene of one of my last movies, I think, literally has a very similar visual setup. Okay. But the thing is, it's just funny to see the difference between idiots doing the low budget and someone like me, who I don't consider to be a total idiot, doing low budget. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
I think he filmed him doing the execution shot separately, and
That's probably why he's
and
pointing his dick.
photoshopped it on top. Yes, exactly. I think when he first acted this scene out in his head, they were on their knees, and then when he shot their scene, he was like, "Nope, it'd be better if they're standing."
Nope, he filmed
Yeah.
it for sure together with them because I think the shadows match up too well. And if he would have done that, it would
Back
have
up
been
and
like
play it. I don't know.
I swear to God, it would have
Uh,
been the worst lighting on him and the worst lighting on them, and it would have not made any fucking sense. The shadows are making too much sense in my head right now, and there's no way they could have synced that
I
up.
don't know, man.
I think that what it was is that he couldn't figure out how to do a 2 or 3 angle fucking shot and cut it all together to make it look like he's shooting at somebody. So to keep it safe, he had to shoot away from somebody while also making it look like it's gonna hit them without shooting the guy in the face that's got the car, his Dodge Omni on, that's got the light going through the fucking
Rick
screen.
Sanchez,
Yeah.
dude.
That's what I was just thinking. Like, okay, Morty, play the rest of
Everyone's shocked. It's fucking we're
fucking ridiculous.
6
I'm
million
not gonna lie.
episodes in.
I've been rapping the mute button on mine because I'm sipping on a beautiful peaches and cream cake brew tonight.
Oh,
nice.
Bud Light. But this is a wonderful.
That's the classic burp, though. You could tell from the guttural low end.
That was fucking beer. That was a beer burp right there.
I've got Monaco's also, vodka in a can. I don't know. It's probably let's see, a premium mixed drink. No part of anything that comes inside of a fucking tin can is a premium mixed drink. I'll let you know that right now. Vodka, natural and artificial flavors, and caramel color. You know what you're looking for in all your premium fucking vodka mixed drinks. Caramel color. That's what you asked for. Could I have a vodka and caramel color in a tin can, please?
You know what? I'm never going to have this opportunity ever again to bring this up as a natural segue, but can we go ahead and do away with dyes and beverages? I'm just going to go ahead and jump on that soapbox.
Yes.
This is the kind of fucking cause I'm going to get behind as a famous actor. No more dyes and sodas. Everything should be clear.
So I looked up the reviews of this movie, and actually it's not horrible. It's 5.8 out of 10.
That's
oh my god!
I was surprised.
Well, gents, maybe what we should do is we should do a commentary stream of this piece.
I would
of
love to
I
do
am
that.
100
No, not this one,
10%
guys. Not
down.
this one. This is. I'm
Well,
gonna stop
listen to
this
this
one right
review.
here. Please. Can we stop this one right here? Like it's more
yeah.
of the same.
Can
I
we
want to
stop
bring
this
you to his
1 minute
real
and
masterpiece.
54 seconds ago.
I want to bring you to his real masterpiece. This is the one that we should do commentary on. I thought this one was cool, and then I was talking to this girl about. I was like, this fucking trailer. I can't remember the name of it, and I sent it to her, and then she's like, "Oh, Neil Breen," and she was like, "That's not even his best work. His best work is Double Down." And I was like, "What? There's more?" And she's like, "There's a whole fucking catalog more. There's a whole filmography more."
I hate
and I was
that
like,
we
"You gotta
encourage
be
these
shitting me."
people.
No, fuck them. Let's encourage them to keep making it. That's how we make fucking
no.
Patreon
Here's
content.
why. Because it kills people like me. Like Neil Breen's exist, and nobody gives a shit when you're an indie guy that's doing okay. Do you know
Just
what I
be
mean?
better. Just be better. Everyone likes David Lynch.
trying.
Come on, you
That's
got this.
true.
Yeah, you can do it. Don't fucking hate on.
guys.
Yeah, I like Neil Breen. You're fucking killer. Everybody can coexist. It's fine. No, fuck it. Let's give everybody the attention. We're giving you the attention and Neil Breen the attention. So
That is true. I will share
don't
the
be
spotlight
butthurt.
with the. Listen, I'm trying not to be. There's only so many filmmakers with a last name that starts with B that Hollywood will allow, and he's taking up space.
Okay, fair enough. I'm sure. Yeah, this is Hollywood's really allowing Neil Breen to get in on the fucking the child sex
I'm like-
parties and the fucking whatever
I'm right,
weird shit
I'm
they're
sitting
doing
here-
in Hollywood.
Well, no, he looks like the type of dude who would drink blood without an elite person telling him to do it.
With ice, a little ice.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Ice child blood cup. Yes.
This is my vampire son, also named Neil Breen.
All of his movies, by the way, are the same premise, but in a different setup. So you're gonna see a lot of similarities here. This is
Let's
one of
do
his
it.
earliest works, though, and this is the one that we should for sure do commentary on. I just wanted to give you just dip your toes into the waters of Neil Breen. This is the one, though.
Vegas, where anything goes. Enjoy it while you can.
Instantly.
I'm about to end it all.
By the way, masterful dialogue writing and performance. The way that he delivered that chills down my spine. Douche chills, but chills nonetheless.
My name is Aaron Brand. I always thought I was doing the right thing and preparing for life. I was the first in my class in college.
He's making
in
the
computer
COVID
science.
vaccine.
I joined the military and became a fighter pilot. And won many.
You could tell by all of his medals.
Hold on. We're just gonna glaze over the fact he was sitting in the back of a Honda Accord with 3 laptops doing some important shit.
Well, that's
At
the
once.
Wait a
I was
second.
gonna say
The satellite dish, though? The satellite dish
He's
is
got
just on the
two.
back of the car, and he's got
There's
3
two.
laptops that he's working off of next to a lunchbox. Next to a Nickelodeon lunchbox.
this is the car that he used to light the scenes in his future films.
And for sure, 100%, that's his lighting rig right there. And his tires flat? Yeah, he's an elite operative with flat tires. Fucking satellite dish on the back. All right.
I was the first in my class in college. And
Is this what you're talking about right here, Luke?
Fucking.
They're
why is
all
he
off,
sitting in
by the
back
way.
seat? He
This
picked him
one's-
up from off the ground outside, and he brought him inside just to keep doing it and work on multiple with 2 hands on different ones. Something else.
computer science.
It's
I
incredible.
joined the military and became a fighter pilot. And won many medals for distinguished service. I'm now a covert agent, mercenary, for any nation that wants to control another. I don't need much to live on anymore. I just eat tuna out of the can and live in the car.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
Okay, so he's eating tuna out of a can sloppily, and then
Spilling it all over himself.
in his, not even just in his movie, but in his trailer that he's cut for this movie where he's painting himself as like a real badass. He's not like trying to like fuck around. Like he really thinks like I'm making this character look awesome. He's spilling tuna down his black wife beater onto his fucking blue jeans, and there's just tuna filling up his pants while he's driving down the fucking the desert
like he
roads.
spilled like half the dish on his lap.
He's getting into character. Didn't you fucking hear him? He said he was a master spy. He's obviously a legend when it comes to infiltration. He's just getting himself ready for the role of being a dipshit fucking trucker. You know what I'm saying?
Like Gruber
Like,
or some shit.
Makes so much sense,
Where were his dress blues? He had his military medals just hanging off a denim jacket. You know what I'm saying?
Sleeveless
Like,
denim jacket.
No,
Like,
when you're that badass of a fighter pilot, they let you wear anything. Like you think that fucking I can't make the joke because I don't know the fucking who did Tom Cruise play from that one fucking fighter pilot movie? When you're that guy, you can wear the cut off
Classic
denims.
Maverick.
Yeah, when you're Maverick, they let you wear the fucking cut off denims. You don't need your dress blues.
Yeah, he
anymore.
put that on. I was thinking he was about to put on this badass battle vest from the 80s, but it just had shitty ass military.
well, that's what he
medals all
wore
over it.
when he was a fighter pilot.
Yeah, that's what he
before,
wore.
Before he was a master class spy.
Oh, Neil Breen, I love you so much. Hold on, let's keep it going. Just for like, there's 2 scenes that I want you to see.
I control access to anything and everything,
2 cell phones at
even
once.
from my little simple, brilliant setup. My orders from another country are to shut down the Las Vegas Strip for 2 months. I've been given this great power, but I'm so alone without the girl I love. My girlfriend and I always wanted to have children.
I love you.
And now all of that's been taken away from me.
Confirmed. Jeez. He is planning something very big. Bigger than 9/11 or any of the other larger catastrophes we caught in time after 9/11.
It's me.
Dialogue.
Give me the president. Contact us.
You think this guy could just call to the White House and they recognize his voice? It is me.
it's
Give
Neil.
me the president, and the president will come on the phone right away and answer any of his questions that he's got. I've got hold on, there's 2 scenes specifically that I need you to see really badly. Oh, it's so imperative that you see these 2 scenes. Oh, where are they? Hold on, wait for it. Maybe okay, hold on.
Has been made. Governments don't dare try to kill me.
Where does he go?
There's just one so
He's on a
fucking
quest.
bizarre.
Don't ask, he's protected. You're a genius. The best. But you know
It
that.
just blows my mind that there's a whole
No.
movie behind
This
all
time,
this shit.
it's personal.
I can't forget her,
The fact that this isn't the entire movie is fucking
nor forgive them
That's
for
what I'm
what they
saying,
did
like-
to us.
All they need is the 3-4 minutes,
Forgive
but
me.
he spreads this out for an hour and a half.
Forgive me. It's starting now.
Oh, it's coming. Wait for it.
Marriage is over. Get out.
I've got the package.
That's the one.
setup.
That's the one. That was one of them.
Just running along the rocks, screaming,
Oh, hold on.
just shuffling his feet.
It's a setup.
Did you hear that yell?
It's a setup.
Okay.
That's incredible.
The other, I'm sorry, the other masterful like Scorsese Kubrick-esque moment in this movie is the title, the shot where they finally show you the the name of the movie. Let me just go right to the end, and we'll get back to Mark Borison. I'm sorry, Mark, to have you on. Just to
No,
talk
you're
about Neil
okay.
Breen. But
I needed a short nap before we got back to the show. I'm actually live tweeting this to Neil as you've been playing it.
please. Oh, that's fantastic. All right, see if you guys notice anything about this scene that's coming up, where they show you the name of the movie. Anything weird at all about it? Was there anything about that scene
Dick?
right before that? Yeah.
Was that a fucking dick and nutsack?
Dude, there's definitely balls, floating ass
He
balls.
shared that right where the title comes in.
And then what's even funnier is I'm pretty sure the nuts like and the dick go right into the O and down or double. One of the O's.
Let's see.
God.
Wait, I've got my money on the W. What do you guys got? You got the O? You got the O?
I'm
okay.
going with an O.
I'm going with the W. Luke, Pat, what do you have? All right, fuck you guys. We're doing it. Oh, it's the L.
Oh, it's an L.
It's the L.
All of us were wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
L
on.
for the one that we took on that guess.
The love. For the love of our life.
That was amazing.
Neil
Everything
Breen's
is my life has been irreparably changed. Thank you, Neil. Namaste.
Yeah, dude.
Namaste.
I don't know. I just wanted to show you that because I felt like since we were talking about inspirational like things that you I wanted to bring some inspiration to your life, like something that could really inspire you to do better, to, strive for more. And
If it wasn't for Neil Breen, I would have never started making films.
you should tell people that in interviews when you're on Hot Ones trying to choke down the 10th chicken wing. Just thank Neil Breen for fucking everything every single time.
Oh man,
That'd be phenomenal.
He's amazing. Holy shit, guys! What a start!
Yeah. Well, there you
Yeah.
go.
I'm like personally, I'm working on my like chaos magic ritual against Neil Breen now that we watched that.
You really fucking hate him. I can feel it in the room.
No,
You're
it's silly and it's not right of me because art is art and it's like fucking totally everything is subjective. But I do get frustrated because here's the thing: we give awful productions like that our love and support. Look at what Tommy Wiseau has done with his career, right?
Yeah.
And this is somebody who probably didn't deserve more money. Think about how many fucking talented people are out there.
I'm
Probably
gonna
pisses
edit
you
you.
off like a
Definitely
motherfucker.
didn't deserve
Especially
more
as a
money.
hard worker who I feel fairly
You're always
talented.
in the grind.
Right. And so like it frustrates the shit out of me. I'm like, oh, thanks a lot, everybody. You couldn't just hit fucking share on my post, but you bought like 8 copies of The Goddamn Room since 2001. Like, get fucked.
Yeah.
I'm obviously not that mad, but it's like that. It is sort of a frustrating thing, and I'm sure a lot of creatives feel that way.
How do you feel about David Lynch in that same?
So like Lynch to me is like a true artist, right? Where there's clearly intent and intelligence behind it. And but I also kind of feel like with Lynch that we're not in on a joke that he is solely in on, and I think the joke is that we're not in on a joke, and he's just like, these fucking idiots will eat anything. You know what I mean? Like,
I
oh
legitimately.
my god, this is profound.
Somebody just showed me What Did Jack Do, and we talked about it on the show. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yes.
17 minutes of fucking cinematic brilliance, just this neo noir, like fucking filmed in like a 40s sort of style, smoking cigarettes. And just uses, and he's interviewing a monkey the entire time about a murder, and then you find out that like the monkey's like in a love affair with a chicken and had to kill somebody for the chicken. But they're nonsensical dialogue the entire time, and I genuinely like that movie. It makes me uncomfortable in the best ways. It's 17 minutes long. It's just a monkey and David Lynch, and David Lynch's mouth superimposed over a monkey's mouth the entire fucking time. And there's a waitress that comes up and gives him coffee. That's the 3 actors in the movie, and one of them's a fucking animal. Well, there's also I don't want to spoiler alert, the chicken too.
Well, I mean, I think there's something, again, it's a lot of intent. I think there's like this desire to be weird. And the thing is, it's still well produced. You know what I mean? Like you can tell it's like an artist expressing themselves.
Right.
Whereas I feel like a guy like a Neil Breen doesn't understand art. And that's kind of why guys like him and Tommy Wiseau, and like when you think of all these other like notoriously shitty movies, I almost want to go like, okay, someone gave this person money and they obviously didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Right.
And I'm just so confused by the way the world works sometimes. So I'm just like, oh, okay. That's it. Airplane versus Volcano it is. Thanks a lot for that, Dean Cain classic. Add it to your list, though. It's funny. But no, that's super hilarious. You know, the area of art where I feel like artists are very vocal about this, filmmakers less so because they're way more phony.
What's that?
Is musicians. Listen to like just the Grammys posts in the last couple of days, I think are a great example of that.
Oh,
where it's just like,
the ones trying to boycott it.
I'll be right back.
The boycotting thing, that's like here or there for
What's
me.
going
There's
on? I haven't even heard any of this.
Oh God! I'm mostly speaking to a lot of this sort of like kind of, I don't want to say boomer mentality, but for lack of a better descriptor, like that boomer mentality.
Yeah.
All music's just beeps and boops and blah blah blah. And I'm like, you're not wrong, but I also don't think that there's not talent involved in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's still something.
Right.
Yeah,
and so
it's still art. It's still created, and someone busted ass, and it's on time, and all this other shit for the most part.
right. But there's, you know what I would like to find. I can think of, I would never be this mean as to speak it out loud publicly, but there's definitely artists out there that are like the Neil Breen of music, but nobody's buying those fucking records because we don't think it's fucking funny then, do we, audience? So that's where I'm at usually. But no, I'm just always a little curious about that. So,
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I'm sure, but all these people though, like let's say you see some fucking idiot like the Cash Me Outside girl, or you see the Daddy Long Neck guy who are just like, they look like fools on the internet or something, and then they're just millions and millions of followers. It's just so crazy that something so stupid will just blow up like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I had a buddy that he had a video go viral on Facebook where it was like he walked in on his brother, and I guess he was watching like on virtual reality, someone watching porn, like he was watching porn in virtual reality.
Okay.
He was dancing with his fists up the whole time, and he just caught him on video and had almost like 100 million views on the video. And he's been in a band for like 10 years, and I played with them. They were great. They were like totally underrated band, and they busted their ass all the time. And then this stupid video comes out, and then they're like offering him like management deals and like sponsorships and shit just off this video, and say, hey, can you make more of these kind of videos? It didn't work out because it's a lot harder to make a viral video more than once for most people, from what I've seen.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Well, I also think there's that thing that once you attempt virality, there's just, you can't get it, right?
Your
If you
personality almost.
Right. I mean, literally, I think viral content is sort of the expression of what was I going to say? Fuck. I totally lost my train of thought of that. It's capturing lightning in a bottle. So it's like by the act of doing that, like, I would wager if you take a film like, let's say, maybe Back to the Future, I think is a good example of something where it's like, oh, everything seems to work on that. It stood the test of time, blah, 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 blah. I don't think anybody out when they were making that movie was like, yo, let's go make a classic 1980s film that will stand the test of time. They were just like, let's just go try and make a good movie. And then it was like, oh shit, all these parts came together.
Well, that's like how Star Wars started, basically. It was just like, hey, let's try this out, see what happens. And it didn't even get much liked. And then later on, it just became like one of the biggest things ever.
Yeah, it's insane to think about. It's, oh my God. It's, man.
So, like, have you ever
talking about?
Like a random viral video or anything? Because I see you always making videos, but you made something that was like what Street Fighter sounds as some bum fight.
I did the Mortal Kombat. Yeah, it was like a street fight. I swear it looked like it was like 2 blocks from my apartment. And when I saw the fight, it's like, it'd be a good viral video if I put sound effects to this. So I real quick, it was my lunch break. I just sat there. I found as many of the clips as I could. And I cut a short enough clip that it was like, okay, I can definitely get this done on lunch. Yeah, and it ended up getting shown. I remember before it got voted for violence and removed and taken down, I swear we had something like 9 million views, and it had been shown to like 75 million people.
I saw it all over Reddit and shit. I remember seeing I just saw my dude Mark posting about that, and then Trail posted it, and it went back to your shit, and I was like, holy shit, look at this guy.
It's crazy.
It's super crazy. And the thing is, I think the key to viral video expert on any of this, because I've never had a viral video, but I've had posts online for my art that's gone viral on Reddit, and it's just all about timing. Like if you see something like the Bernie meme, for example, oh man, you had to get on that shit ASAP and just make it weird or whatever, and then it would blow up, and then it fades out real quick.
Right.
So that's like a quick thing that I've seen that people do is just get really, really fast on memes, or they just draw something and they make a video that's based off that fucking meme, and it's just crazy.
I've never seen this. Can we watch it?
Sure. I would assume, yeah. How many views is it up to? I don't think I did that well on here, but 6,000 views. That's better than I thought I did on there. But this is, aside from the actual fight, all the sound design was all me. So
let's see it. I love these guys' stances. This is the most crackhead shit that I've ever seen. These guys will both get fucking just mollywopped by anybody that knows dick about fighting.
Yeah, I never understood the classic street fight pose where they throw both of their fists high up and separated.
And then put their chin on display. And then they lead with their chin. Like almost
not only are
out
you
further than their
making a
hands.
goalpost for their fists, you know what I'm saying? Like not
That's a
only are
good
you
point.
making a target, like you're telegraphing your throws. Like
And I love that there's bricks
you're gonna
underneath
see
them.
it coming.
There's bricks and asphalt and cars, all kinds of good stuff for your head to land on when one of these crackheads knocks the other crackhead out. Oh man, I love how the
gonna be
potential
great.
for this video. Please
see
tell
it.
me there was
Let's see
brain
it.
damage that occurred.
Round 1. Fight!
Oh, that foot switch. Oh! Ooh, the whiff. I always, yeah.
You alright, bro?
Oh, that shit hurt. That didn't feel good.
Standing.
So you say you were like trying to edit it real quick before your work. Like, are you just doing this on your phone or something?
How
Or
quickly can you put that together? God damn, that seemed like
I mean,
professionally well
so
done.
I feel very confident and like kind of just quick sound design. I mean, realistically, that was pretty. The pain in the ass thing there was timing it, but this sounds silly to say. But I swear, one of my like secret powers is quick edits of audio, and I swear to God, I don't know what it is. But every so often editing, if it's not anything I have to do like from an artful standpoint, right? Like that was very functional. I didn't have to do anything to the video. I was literally just lining up. Here's a beat. Here's here's actually like the fight clip and all that shit. So in those situations, I can put that together quick. I mean, I think that thing it probably took me about an hour total. But I would say half of that was just sourcing the clips and finding the right ones and be like, okay, that's the good sound effect. That's a good part.
What do you edit in? Is it just like fucking
Premiere Pro?
Premiere Pro?
Yeah, I use the Adobe Suite.
That's
so.
the industry standard, right? Like if you're gonna
Yeah.
edit some shit.
I
Premiere
also
Pro's
like.
easy to use.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I've also been dipping my toes into Davinci Resolve, which is you can get it free.
Really? Do you pirate it? What do you got to do? You got to
No, you get it from their site. The only thing they limit is like I think the export resolution and frame rate.
You can't
So-
go
so long
4K. Can you go like
I don't think
1080?
you can go 4K for free. I think you can do 1080 60 frames.
That
up
ain't
to
bad. That ain't bad at all. That's still
Honestly, yeah, for free for sure. And like I think it's like a one-time purchase license. I could be wrong. I haven't really looked into the paid version since I've already got the Adobe stuff, and I'd use that more frequently anyway. But what's kind of nice about Davinci Resolve is they've got a lot of different features built in it. Like it's really great for color grading. It's really great for you can actually do a lot of like. I forget I think it's called Fusion, but it's kind of like their mix of something like a Blender 3D software and After Effects, but it's built into the main app. So it's just like another tab. So you can kind of get wild all within one app for free. So if someone's out there like trying to learn editing and they don't have money, go get Davinci Resolve. It's totally free from the company. I think I would say, and realistically, the big change between most editing software is just what the key shortcuts are. You know what I mean?
I've been wanting to do this I've had this idea about doing like I don't know if anybody or you guys are familiar with a cooking channel by the name of J. Kenji Lopez Alt or something like that.
Yes.
So
yeah.
He's a phenomenal cook. He developed a reverse sear technique and a bunch of like any like respectable big like cooking channel on YouTube will credit him constantly for all kinds of shit. Like he runs a great sausage restaurant out in San Francisco and shit like that. And he just takes a GoPro, straps it to his head, and then records, and then he uses his phone as a monitor. And I'm like, I can get behind that. I'm shitty when it comes to video editing. Like I have some VSDC free program whenever we used to do the bastard sermon thing, and I could kind of half-ass figure out how to do it, and I couldn't really. We were paying to use Adobe Premiere, and I was sucking dick at learning it because like kids and fucking not spending enough time doing it. But like, I would love to learn a little bit of editing just so that I could fucking get into doing that, because I was like, I want to do like some foul mouth version of what Obviously not as like informative as Kenji, because that dude's just like dropping fucking science facts and like making really entertaining. Like, I just want to make.
He's like, let me explain
content.
the Maillard reaction here in detail.
Exactly. Yeah, he's just like all the chemical reactions that occur when you combine cornstarch with egg, and like it doesn't actually turn it into a floury mess, and like breaking down all the myths. Like I would do some of that and credit the other people that I've heard, but mostly just make little dick jokes the entire time while I'm making food, and probably never finish the food video trying to be funny or whatever. But I thought it'd be a good idea because I like making food and shit like that, whipping up stuff at the house. But I got to learn some level of editing to do that. I just feel like that's the easiest way to do it because he just like it's all like single shots. I feel like I could paste a bunch of shots together and get it done. But whenever you start talking about cutting it apart and like turning it into a whole film, that's when my brain's just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing at all.
It takes a ton of time.
Yeah, I respect.
I did it with music videos, and it takes hours and hours to get like 30 seconds of like footage where I'm like, you know what, this looks really good. And then you have to put all these filters over it, and then you have to put there's a bunch of other work you have to do and render it all afterwards.
And
like it takes fucking forever.
And you can keep editing it for forever because like it could never like in your head you're like it's never fucking perfect. I gotta put it out at a certain point though. Like
that's
what kind of
an artist's curse?
Do you have a schedule for your YouTube channel, Mark? Something that like is a consistent like I have to have this fucker out like once a week, 2 times a week, like that shit.
See, I wish I did that. And I think that this is one of those moments where me having my fingers in too many pies is kind of hard because something I sort of struggle with is like, all right, so I have to come up with content for multiple podcasts. I have to come up with content because I also, by day, I host a YouTube channel for a company in Florence. So I'm also writing all this content. And so by the time I'm done by the end of the day, I'm like, all right, do I write a funny few minute piece on video games that maybe nobody gives a shit about? So it's like, my answer is I should be trying to crank out a piece every week. In my current state, I don't know if it's available, but
it's not feasible. It's exhausting. It sounds like your schedule is like loaded up, man.
It's already a fucking nightmare, dude. Like, and I'm in this weird place where I keep joking with people because I keep getting like odd monetary requests where I'm like, I'm barely the famous part of rich and famous. I'm definitely not the rich and part. You know what I mean? I was like, at best, the guy at the Newport Kroger meat counter knows who I am. That's about as famous as I am. So no, I don't know where I got it. I'm like, I'm really poor. Everybody donate. No, but I've gotten to that point recently where I kind of had that thing where I was like, I have to do something about this. So I just put out the other day an application. So if somebody's hearing this and I haven't found one, I'm looking for a very part-time assistant just to kind of help me with my schedule and small, it's super part-time. It's like 4 to 6 hours a week. And I'm not paying absurd amounts of money by any means.
Mark's only looking for blondes between the age of 19 and 22. Breast size varies.
And it's funny that you said that because one of a woman I'm friends with that applied for today, she's like, is this like an assistant or an assistant position? And I was like,
oh, man.
Well, I was like, it's a consensual thing. So, I mean, I'm in if you are is really what the answer is to that question.
Well, let me ask you about that real quick. Like, how do you find time to have like a successful relationship? Is that too personal of a question? I'm just so curious.
Actually, so here on a somewhat pause note, is it okay if we don't talk about my word?
Oh, totally. That's fine. Yeah.
Talk about what?
Exactly.
I
will still answer if you want to rephrase it about maybe friendships and other relationships. I will answer it that way.
Gotcha. So like, what kind of free time do you really? Sorry about that. What kind of free time do you really even have in a day?
That's a good question, dude. Because like I have a lot of people I'm close with in my life, and I still find a good amount of free time, but not as much as I would love to binge a show in a day, but I don't really know if that's a thing. But usually by the end of the day, it's like I also stay up fairly late. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm like a 7 a.m. till about 11 midnight guy usually.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd say usually by the end of the day, I've got a couple of hours of free time. Yeah. But even during that free time, I'm still catching up on social media posts, little things like that. Because even just writing stupid jokes for Facebook is taxing.
You really need a team, man. Like, it sounds like you need more people to take care of some of this shit for you. Like, you really need that assistant.
And it sucks because it's like that thing where this has always been a frustrating thing, and I never know if it was because I wasn't from here originally, but I really struggle with finding a good team of people who are also willing to work for free. Because realistically, a lot of the fun projects, you guys get it. It's not like people are paying me absurd amount of money to host my own shows. Whenever I drop a YouTube video, that's literally just in hopes that one day you might buy a shirt or something from me. But it's just like an expenditure of time and all of this stuff. And maybe it's a little bit of my own confidence, because I do believe I can get there, right? I truly believe like everybody can kind of get there, but I don't know.
They can't. Some people suck. They lack drive. Like people.
Well, that's pretty much, in my opinion, the dividing factor. It's
me. That's why I have a team, Mark. Like I have the funny, but I don't have the drive. So I'm like, two other dudes that have the drive and the funny. Fucking.
Well, I'm putting it out there. I want a team. That's what I ultimately want. And the thing is, if anybody's ever worked with me, I always take care of everyone. And I'm like, if this goes the way this goes, I am going to pay everybody handsomely, but I'm like, right now, I just don't have and so I'm always stuck in that where someone will be like, dude, I would love to help on your next skit. And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, that would be so cool. You seem super talented. They're like,
for $250.
Exactly. And I'll be like, that like literally this is just me and my other friends who are willing to act in this right now. Like there's no money coming in, and that's a hard thing to do. So it's like I had this point where I went from nothing to, honestly, booking things like the Pepsi commercials, probably kind of on a small scale. It was great for my career, right? Because now I've got Pepsi in my resume. The Pepsi people were cool as fuck. The directors of that ad, they were from, I believe they're from New York originally, but they're like a pretty national production company, and they were cool as fuck.
Are you eating steaks every time you get a residual check? Like, are you just like, fuck
so
yeah, dude.
Here's a
What's
fun
up,
fact.
Ribeyes?
Residuals don't exist the way they used to. The internet kind of fucked that up for everybody.
Oh, really?
I pretty much got in the game. Now, some big national spots might get them, but residuals, they just realistically, like they pretty much everybody buys you out up front now.
Oh, okay.
Because the nature of like the internet, you never know when the fuck it's going to pop off again. Right. We could do that. We could do like they actually, and because of this, Pepsi, for example, has unlisted or I think made private the video I did with them last year because in the event that for some reason it stayed on YouTube and one day you guys found an unlisted link and we're like, oh shit. And then it blew up. They would technically owe me more money, and nobody wants to. It just comes down to nobody wants to pay anybody except for the nobodies, but we don't have any money to pay people. That's kind of the thing.
But then you become somebody and you forget about all the nobodies. So.
Well, I think I'm going to be pretty good about that.
Vicious cycle.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to try really hard deleting all my social shit.
Delete everything, make a new name.
Can you like get like a Patreon or something for like stuff that you do? Because
he has a Patreon.
Obviously. Oh, do you?
I actually don't right now. I've been sort of thinking about it. So the catch is
set it up for you.
Yeah, I have right, exactly. The brick wall's moving again.
That's just the LSD that we put in your drink, Mark. Continue talking.
Yes,
You'll be all right.
That's why I'm drinking that delicious Scarecrow cup tonight. So it's the fear toxins. But shit. Oh, you were saying I answered the ribeye question. I'm sorry, Patrick. What was the question? I totally lost that too.
The
Patreon thing.
Patreon.
Yeah, the Patreon.
So for me, I think it's this is where my confidence falls, right? Is that I'm like, well, what exactly am I doing that people will pay for in this current moment?
Anything.
But I think, the thing is, it's like once the podcasts get going, I feel like that'll be, more of a more tactile thing, right? I love artists, for example, and I have a lot of artist friends, and I am consistently driven crazy by how a lot of them are so talented but lack drive. And so my thing is just like, I'm like, just you guys have a fucking tangible product. I just say funny things.
Well, hey,
a lot of people won't value that the same way they could value a print.
That's just you getting inside your own head. Check this out. Like, you ever go out to like shows and like support your friends that are in bands and shit like that?
I support all my friends.
Yeah, you buy stuff.
See?
Here, Pat's art.
So you recognize
stuff
that?
like that.
Yeah.
Hey, look. So other people
I have it on my desk. It's been on my desk since the beginning of the pandemic.
That's tight. Check out Dark Mountain Cold. But back to the point though. You're getting inside your own head about this. Like another thing that a lot of people do is like they make content. This is content that we make. We sell this content. It's something that we do. People pay us to do it. People pay you to listen to you talk. Like, you're interesting. You could fucking do that. Like that. That's as valuable as the thing that Pat does, or is the music that somebody creates. I mean, it's fleeting, sure. Like it's you You're going to listen to it one time and it's going to be done, but you're going to have a fun experience the whole time that you're listening to it. Don't get too inside your own head about it. You go out there, you support the community, you prop people up, you fucking help other people out.
dude.
They're going to do that for you back. That's what it is. And there's no, like, don't think about it too much. Just do it.
I'm
and
really
make a little bit of
afraid-
money. Like, you're going to make some money. You got friends, you got fans.
Do Cameo.
It's going to happen. Go ahead.
I
You're
actually
really
just
afraid.
applied to Cameo. Now that I
Cameo,
recently
bro.
recut my reel because I did the Pepsi thing, and I was like, I can at least get on Cameo. I haven't heard back yet, but I did apply for Cameo. I thought that would be fun.
We got to buy a
Cameo
Cameo.
would be a great thing
We got to
for
buy
it because-
Mark's first Cameo if you fucking
That would
does
be
it.
hilarious.
Yeah, totally.
Please.
But I think that's a really good option, actually. Now that I think about it, for like someone who does acting and is just a content creator like you are. But because if it's not a Patreon, yeah, I mean, I can offer more videos or whatever. But with a Cameo, you can just do a personal whole skit for someone in a quick like 2-minute video, and I think people would love that shit.
Dude, you know what I really wanted to do?
Gay
we refer
sex
to
on
this,
camera. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's like, well, after college, I meant. No, but I really wanted to do, and I had a Fiverr page for this, and it got shut down at some point because it was like too mean spirited. But I really, and if anybody thinks this is a good idea, please be honest with me. Don't be nice. I want to do like paid roasts.
I fucking
like,
hate
really
it. It's
wanna
the
be
shittiest idea. It's
Right,
terrible.
exactly,
Don't do
like-
it. Fuck that. No, I'm just kidding. Keep going.
Like I imagine it just be like, hey, I'm this is what I'm good at. I will call and eviscerate this person. I'd have tiers to the package. I'm like, all right, for $10, I'm just gonna send you a recording that's the only thing that's not part of the formula is like the first sentence. Where it's like, hey, so and so paid me to roast you. Your name is this, and here's why you're a piece of shit. It's very form letter.
And for
But as you-
$100, I'll talk about your mom that died of heroin and like your abortion that you had.
Yeah,
that you didn't
exactly.
want
I'm like, I will undo everything the therapist you refuse to see has helped you with. You know what I mean? But I think I would.
I'll fucking sell my soul for $1. Who cares?
This sounds silly. Like when I was doing the fuck it list, that was in like 2015, 2016. And then it kind of dried up as me and a buddy I was working with just sort of stopped working together. But I also had this thing where, and this, I'm not trying to make this a political statement at all. So I'm sorry that I even have to say this guy's name, even though we have the same birthday. But when Trump became president, kind of being shitty out loud wasn't cool anymore. And like, it was always absurd and over the top to me, but it was just like, oh, that's not cool anymore. I'm like, well, what the fuck, guys? I mean, like, I just hate chain restaurants. Like, I'm not actually a bad person. And they're just like, you're very angry. I'm like, no, only the fake voice I do for you is,
Yeah.
But I'll bring it back. No, I'm into it. I'll do the roast channel. Well, so one of the secret
You
projects.
should do all of it, man. All of it's worth it. People
Yeah.
will buy it. You got
I
friends.
think-
People will support you. Just do it. Just
100%.
fucking- You're doing all these.
I'm
you got
like
your hands on all these
totally,
pies. You're just afraid to ask for money. Just ask for the money. People give it to you, and you give that money back anyways. It's not like you're getting
Right.
something you're not giving back. You're giving back. Like, don't feel.
I think
guilty
that's always
about
been
it.
the big fear is that I have given, but I'm afraid I won't get back. And then what that will do is make me disillusioned in people. And it's taken me so many years
I
to
thought-
not feel that way. You know what I mean?
I thought the same
when
thing,
you-
and then
when you do
people
the-
paid us. But if people will pay our stupid fucking faces to say dumb shit, they'll pay you. I promise. Pat, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I'm totally picturing you doing this roast channel, like you're wearing like a red robe, you got like a little bubble pipe, and you're sitting in like an armchair with a fire behind you, and you're like, "You're a cunt," and then I'm going to tell you why, and I can just totally picture you going completely all out, or like do like some. You're dressing up in like overalls with a straw in your mouth or something, like you're about to do some sort of farm commercial, but it's just talking shit about these people,
I would love that actually.
I
So
think
maybe
that-
I should
or
commission you.
anchor position or something.
See, I should commission you to do one of the pieces, like the kind of I'm sorry, I don't know the proper terms, but you've been putting them
Triangle.
in like, triangle. Well, no, I was gonna call it like a shield, right? Because it sort of felt like overall that was the thing.
Triangle.
You know what I mean? Well, there's something that goes outside the triangle, but I was gonna say, but we should do the red robed upset Mark in that.
I'd be down to do that.
Yeah, so send me
Yeah.
the Venmo request.
I'm always down to do art.
Yeah, you're very talented too. So no, I appreciate it, guys. I need the gas. It's hard because I sometimes struggle with it. I mean, I'm going to bare my soul on this show. You guys are the real Howard Stern now. You're getting to say all the honest things.
All right, now
Let's get the
now sit
chainsaw
on the
with
electric
tongues on it out
triangle
here.
and moan
I'd
for
like to
me,
sit
Mark
on it.
Borison.
I would do that, but you have to sign up for my Patreon in order to get me to do it. That's the kicker.
I got you. Yeah, I got you for sure.
No, that's
I'll
fun.
sign
That'll
up.
be the next. Well, on the Patreon end too, one of the new projects I'm going to do, and provided the brand I will be representing rather is into it, I'm going to try and do a Patreon for that program too, and that should be cool.
Into it?
Yeah.
I've heard that. What's that? What is that again though? Brain farting.
I just said I would be into it.
Oh, sorry. I thought you
That's
said
when
it was
you take
the
two
name of
fingers.
something. Sorry.
You take these two fingers and you make a
Spread your
fish
asshole
hook,
apart.
and then yes,
Yeah.
yes, into a
and then you sit on the thing with the lashing tongues you talked
Exactly.
The
about. I'm
chainsaw
prepared.
with the tongues on it.
There he goes. Oh,
Yes.
perfect. Like
Yes,
replace
exactly.
my bidet with that.
that would be fantastic. If
You
you,
know,
could
we
just
talked
have
about-
like one of those water wheels like that come out of your toilet, but they're all just tongues. Like, yeah, that's the fuck the
Dude,
bidet.
that's like
That's
this
the way
is like
to
the
do it.
happy version of a Freddy Krueger nightmare. You know what I mean? They're like, oh my god, dude, he comes in my dreams and cleans my ass. It's weird, but I'm into it.
Yeah.
I thought you guys would appreciate this. I know the last time I was here, I talked about bidets a whole lot, and I ended up getting Tushy to give me a little love. So not that
Oh
I'm
my
getting
God.
much back from this, but if I can drop a hot sponsor real fast,
Yeah.
if you go to hellotushy.com, you can use promo card the Mark, and it'll give you a discount on your bidet. So
How
get
the
your
hell
ass
how'd you
cleaned
get
and think
that?
about me. I literally have been berating them on social since I was on your show. No shit. And it wasn't
That's
until
awesome.
like just before Christmas that they finally got with me.
Oh, because
And it took like, yeah, I mean,
You
I
just
was on your show and like,
cyberbully- you just cyberbully the company, and then
Pretty
they're like,
much.
fine. Here,
It was
you
like-
get the mark.
right. It was like a little nice. And they're like, well, we're interested. Send us your socials. So
all
we'll see
right.
what I
well,
don't think, I think some of my socials are
would
better
always-
than others, but
off the mics, I was telling them because I took my little
One-
hiatus because I'm all sad boy and depressed and shit like that. I was like,
I get it.
we lost a couple sponsors, so it was like, oh yeah, I got to make up for this. So if I just berate Hello Tushy online, they'll give us a promo code and some money to do this podcast. All right, I'm on it. That's what I'm doing as soon as we get off this podcast.
so I should say, so far, we have not talked about money on that end. Right now, it's just the promo code.
Yeah.
So
But
wait,
it's all
what are you
based- I don't
getting
know.
out of it? You
Hey,
just to
it's
get to
something, though.
promote
Well,
their
it's exactly. I'm trying to say without saying at this point because so much is in the air. I'm like, I probably shouldn't have even mentioned it yet.
Oh, it's too
Well,
late
if
now.
you
that
get
the
some-
I
Tushy,
know, but now
repo
people. Well,
men
here's
are
the
gonna
thing.
come for your
Here's the
ass.
thing. I'm kind of hope. My plan was to just keep planting the seeds over Christmas break. And maybe they would just be like, "Oh, wow, you sent a lot of customers. Well, here's your cut." That's kind
Planting-
of where I'm at
yeah.
right now. Because right now, I think if I call correctly, I think only 3 people have bought bidets using the promo code so far. So it'd be like, "Well, here's your like 45 cents, Mr. Borison."
It makes
you
me
know?
think back in the day, like we used to have my old band used to have like a Twitter that had like 15,000 followers, and we never used it for shit ever. So what we would do is we would get free hotel rooms whenever we go on tour by just saying we stayed at a hotel we never stayed at. So yeah, that's just an example. I'm not saying this is the actual company that we did it, but
It's a great
I don't
scam,
know,
by
try
the
to
way.
protect it. But I would just say we went to this Holiday Inn and their pillows were terrible and our rats ate our shoes. Just say something completely stupid and ridiculous, and it would get like a bunch of.
Did you
like,
really say rats
following.
ate your shoes?
We
Is
said
that-
it one time,
Oh my
and that
God,
company that we
Patrick.
did it for, they gave us 2 nights. They gave us 2 nights free, and they
That's
gave
awesome.
us a $250 gift card. And like some other places would give you like complimentary pillows to take home with you and shit. And so yeah, cyberbully the shit out of the companies until they sponsor you.
Yeah, I did it very sweetly, by the way. I was just like, "Hey, I love your product," and you can see people seem to give a shit about the things I like. I'm gonna keep saying this until you respond back, and eventually they were like, "Hey, email this person."
And
I was
Mark,
like,
they
"All
set
right,
you up
cool."
with this sweet deal where you get no money and you get to plug their product with a promo
Yeah,
code.
right.
So you really, you secured that deal.
There is money. I've just not enough yet. Is the problem? The point is,
money
you guys
in
gotta buy
savings.
fucking right, exactly. But you guys gotta buy the shit for me to get anything. They're like, listen, we're giving like $6 off of these. You're gonna get a 100th of that, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sure the followers will do that, and like, yeah. and
Well,
3
let's give it a
people
little bit
did.
more of a shout out because I have a bidet and I got it at the beginning of the pandemic.
Is
and
it
it's
Hey
the shit.
Tushy?
And if you don't have it, you're fucking missing out on an amazing bathroom experience.
It's amazing. I can't tell you how many people come over and they're like, man, I need to save a 2 for here. And I'm like, you're right.
Save a 2 for here.
You know,
I feel like a lot of people are too scared to use it. Like Luke.
Yeah, I haven't popped my butt cherry with the bidet.
What?
yet.
It was fine. It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be.
Patrick,
like when I
how
did it.
in-
Go
oh,
ahead.
sorry.
No, go
No,
ahead.
no, finish.
When I did it, it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. Like when I went to Pat's, like it sprayed uncomfortably at my balls, and I was like, "Oh, my ball!" Like, "Oh God, how do I adjust
You
my
were sitting on
asshole?"
it in the right angle.
Yeah,
bud.
I was like, "How do I get
Right.
my fucking Pat's?"
It shot you in the balls.
Well, Pat's got this gigantic fucking like horse penis, and then the balls dangle and hit the water and float down, and he's got to pull them up and swing them over his shoulders so they don't get flushed
No,
into
you
the
just
toilet.
fucking angle your asshole at the hole of the toilet. Otherwise, you'll fill the bowl quick.
I gotta do a soft serve like ice cream motion with my asshole. That way that there's enough room
God,
inside
what
the
an
bowl.
image.
I like an
It is.
economy of bowl. That way the logs don't really fill up the toilet. But no, it really like it worked, sure. But I still had to wipe, and there was still some brown on the wipe.
Yeah, 'cause
like
your ass are covered in water.
yeah, I don't know, but it was still there was brown on the wipe. Like it wasn't all that it was cracked up to be. I'll be honest.
Here's
with
the
you.
thing.
It was
Well, you're like a
better
marker,
than,
Cody. Okay?
It was better than
You're gonna
wiping
keep
until I
wiping it.
bleed from the
It's
anus.
gonna keep going.
It was better than wiping until I bleed from the anus, but it was not
Well-
everything that people cracked it up to be. I'll tell you that.
Your
it
first,
wasn't.
but it's
Whatever.
like your first time of anything though, because I know my first time wasn't that way, and I remember being like, huh? And then at some point, you pretty much just, and this sounds so weird, but you kind of have to invest time to figure out the angle a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta
And-
know where to sit and
Exactly.
scooch, you know?
There's definitely like a fucking bit of a ritual to it. And then once you figure that out, I'm like so confident in everything. I'm just like, yep, this is perfectly clean. I can feel how fucking clean it is. And you can feel the difference. And what frustrates me is
literally feel
being-
the difference. A little bit
yeah,
after.
like no joke, dude. I think about how, as like a kind of a weird clean person, I've already like my ass has been dirty for like 30 something years, and it's only in the last year and a half I took care of it.
See, that's the part that's like
Oh,
freaking
fuck,
me out.
dude.
You know what
Why?
I'm kind of like not only am I uncomfortable with having to learn a new bathroom ritual because I've been doing the same thing for 27 years and I know it. I'm good. It's healthy, you know what I mean? But now I have to introduce this. And then you're telling me you can feel the literal difference between using a bidet and not. So like if I am gonna now know like, oh, my asshole is covered in a layer of shit, I need to take like I feel like that's gonna bother me forever. That's gonna be something I'll never be able to avoid once I can tell the difference in, and
You're
it'll
saying-
drive me crazy.
You would rather, use toilet paper and mash the shit up your ass and wipe it off and
Stuff it back
hopefully-
in there. Stuff
How-
it back in
Patrick,
there and
how
just make
else-
the log another inch bigger.
How
Just stuff
else
it
are
back-
we gonna come? That's what I want to know. Okay,
Oh,
unless
yeah.
you're mashing the toilet paper into your asshole and
No, I'll
bleeding from the
definitely
anus,
try it.
mashing.
mashing it
What
in
an
there,
awful that's in just mashed and
or gnashing with
dissolving.
a G, with a
I'm
silent
gonna try it.
G.
I'm gonna try it.
Sorry, Mark.
Yeah.
How was your Twitter? Was everything
Yeah.
all right on Twitter?
Yeah, I mean the mostly okay on Twitter. Actually, Twitter is the social media platform I've invested more time into during pandemic, which has been slow going. I think something I fuck up in my life is I'm sometimes a little too rigidly doing me, as it were. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should just sit here and talk about trending topics. But like the thing is, I don't really give a shit about most of those.
Yeah.
And then it's like writing jokes about things I don't care about. And I think kind of my brand is talking about things genuinely that I actually genuinely have passion for, even if I hate it. But you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can like tell. You heard how lit up I got about Neil Breen before. I'm like, I could do a speech on that. But
Yeah,
if it's
you're-
like,
You're
Sorry.
a personality person. It's why people like you. You know what I'm saying? They come for your genuine reaction. If it's gonna be fake and forth,
If we're gonna,
they'll know. They'll know for sure.
right.
I'm sorry, I had cut you off, Luke. My fault. If we're gonna talk about genuine reactions, they just had, and I heard Mark bring it up. That's why I'm bringing it up. The two Batman, the Batman Begins and the Dark Knight Rises. They didn't have, or not the Dark Knight Rises, the Dark Knight, and on Netflix recently. So I assume
Yep.
Mark's rewatched this, and everybody else has probably rewatched the shit.
Oh,
I
I need to
rewatched
rewatch it.
this. Have you guys all fucking partaken in the rewatching of the
I've
Batman?
never seen The Dark Knight.
You've never seen?
Really?
Are you
I'm fucking around.
shitting me?
Yeah, I was like, oh,
I've
weird.
seen The Dark Knight.
I was like, I feel like that's the
Hasn't seen
only
this?
one. Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
We live in a society, guys.
I rewatched The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
Then I rewatched fucking Batman Begins, and I'll tell you, those movies are not as good as I thought they were when I first saw them. I want to see how you guys feel about this, because I fucking love Batman. I thought I loved that trilogy. There is so many fucking things wrong with both of those movies, just over and over again, that I just like. I'm like, no, I know it's a comic book movie, but no, I'm not buying any of this shit.
Yeah,
Like
I could. Oh, I'm sorry, Patrick.
Oh, I was gonna say Batman Begins, like revisiting that when it first came out, that was a great ass fucking.
It was dope
movie.
the
I had
first
a
time you
good
watched
ass
it.
Fucking time with Batman Begins.
No?
And then,
Luke says no.
Dark Knight. I had it back then, but revisiting now, it's like it's just
They're not good movies.
It didn't keep me that invested. It just was whatever. But Dark Knight, I think, was still really good. But that's only, and as cliche as it sounds, is because of the villain's role. He was fucking awesome.
They have powerful moments. They really have powerful moments, but like it's all overshadowed by none of it being even sort of believable, and it's all supposed to be in this like very real Christopher Nolan believable world where like everything
It's
is
fucking
like
Batman. Shut up with your believable shit.
I know,
God,
but motherfucker, the whole
Grow
premise
up.
of the movie is that it's
Grow
supposed to
up,
make
it's
sense.
Batman.
I know, but at the same
Grow
time,
up.
he's trying to make it seem like that this is something that you could buy on any level. And if you're gonna do that, you better do that immaculately. And the first time you see it, you let all that shit slide. The second time you see it, you let it slide. The third, but then you watch it. Now I've watched it fucking probably 40 times, and I haven't seen it in maybe 5 years. Now I watch it again, and I'm like, this movie is full of fucking like just bullshit the whole time. I don't buy the acting. Like I don't think the Joker's good, but he isn't as good as I remembered him being. I'm not being sold as like Batman
This Bitch Not
being
Claus
this
was
fucking.
a good ass movie.
Go
I
ahead,
just can't
Luke.
Even with you.
I see Luke with your finger.
I never once thought that Batman Begins was a good movie. Not once.
Not one time you're watching, you're like, this is bullshit.
Ra's al Ghul's a terrible villain to start
Not when
with.
I first saw it in theaters. Not when I saw it recently. I hated everything about it. Though I do sort of like the Scarecrow a bit.
I like Cillian Murphy, bro.
Yeah, I like
Kills
Cillian.
it on everything.
Cillian's fantastic. Cillian also looks like the lead singer from All American Rejects.
Totally.
But anyways, I don't like Ra's al Ghul.
Hate it.
I don't like the race part. I don't like
His name is Ra's al Ghul.
Subway bomb. I don't like the act. I don't
the
like
microwave
the acting.
bomb.
I don't like the taser and the horse ending.
Terrible.
To Scarecrow.
Terrible.
I hated everything about Batman's Begins.
True.
I just did not like anything about it. Batman or The Dark Knight, loved it. Still love it to this day. I love Heath. I love homie who played Two-Face and never appeared in another
Aaron
movie
Eckhart.
afterwards.
Oh, he's in a
Yep,
shit ton
that
of
guy.
movies.
I don't remember.
It's pretty
him in
good, but
he's
it's
in
not.
like White House Down and shit. Like,
But none of it makes
White
me
House Down. That fucking
or
B-rated
not that
movie.
one.
Anyways.
Whatever. I'm just saying other movies he's been in. That's just the first one. I thought.
but the Two-Face guy was great. But you know, obviously Batman was awesome. Lucius Fox was a great character in that film. Just it was a good film. But the installment to the trilogy, I still have so many issues with. I never liked Tom Hardy's Bane. I don't like his weird voice. I hate that voice.
Yeah,
I hate
it's
it.
like his real voice.
I
dude.
hate it.
He did it
Yeah,
a
he
bunch
just
in
does the
Mad
same
Max.
thing.
It was so weird. He's like, "Well, we could take out the tanker." I'm like, "Why do you talk like that?" But it's fine.
Every movie,
Dude,
he's
it's
in, he
like-
sounds like that. Peaky
It's like
Blinders,
as if some
too.
sort
Yeah,
of
exactly.
pelican or seagull was like
with his beard
was
and
like
Peaky
morphed
Blinders.
into a human, and then they started talking. Dude, I just don't like anything he did with it. I don't
hear ya.
like the bomb. A lot of the choices that they made with that story, the back-breaking healing in the bottom of the prison, and then him
Yeah.
climbing out to overcome
Oh,
the same
yeah, that was
trials that
Okay.
Bane did.
And he made
Like,
it back
oh,
in the
you
city.
climbed out of a well, so now you can beat his ass, as opposed to before.
I just have this.
Like, I don't know.
I have this fucking nostalgic feeling that this whole like series was like this ultimate Batman representation, and now going back and watching it, I'm just like, this was not the thing that it was all cracked up to be. Now that it's back on Netflix and I haven't seen it in so many years, I was like,
stop.
this wasn't as good as like I remember it being, and it's disappointed me. I was like, I wish that I would have never watched it ever again. Like it bothered me. Go ahead.
Stop. It is good because it is the closest to like the more recent, legit, authentic comics with the real detective feel, the real drama,
Right.
but still has the non-belief into it, as opposed to the well, I mean, I guess the older movies depicted the comic books really well too, but the older movies were just so whimsical. Like, the sets were obvious. None of it was meant to really look real by any means or believable. It was just compared to all the other Batman movies, those three, in my opinion, are better.
I hear you.
I agree with you.
I think.
Mark?
Sorry, go, Mark. You go.
No, so I was going to segue what we were talking about right before we jumped on the Nolan train about passionate people making things they're passionate about.
Yeah.
And I don't think Christopher Nolan likes superheroes. I get the vibe in his films from the jump, right? Like, and by the way, I kind of had the opposite take. I feel like I actually think Batman Begins is my favorite one of the bunch. I like The Dark Knight a lot still too.
I would almost watch The Dark Knight Rises over Batman Begins, especially after watching
that's crazy.
it last night.
I fucking hated Dark Knight Rises so much, and I just got the vibe that was not the movie Christopher Nolan wanted to make, and like the entire runtime, he's just like, yeah, I very much don't want to make this. Kind of like Sam Raimi in Spider-Man 3, where you're like, yep, this is a contractual obligation, or what was the Peter Jackson in the Hobbit trilogy, where I can tell, like, I'm like, Peter Jackson's a really good example too, because you can see how good the fucking Lord of the Rings movies are, which
And
are
how
like
bad the Hobbit is.
Yeah, and especially comparatively, you're like, the Lord of the Rings movies, that was a trilogy where he was like, I love this. It speaks to my soul. I want to scream this story from the mountaintops, right? And the other one was like, oh, fuck, I got to direct this because Del Toro walked off. I
mean, fuck, dude, I do want
shit.
another mansion, but fuck, dude, this,
Right.
like, through this,
and
all right.
and that's kind of my take with Nolan, right? Because I really like him as a filmmaker overall. I think he doesn't like superheroes, and I think the whole reason Batman appealed to him in the first place is because no one had offered him a James Bond movie yet. And if you think about it,
he wants
that's
that.
what it was.
Right, he wants that
that's a
so
good point.
bad. And I think, and The Dark Knight has a lot of kind of James Bondy shit. Like the whole China sequence is straight up a James Bond
bank
movie,
heist.
right?
Have you also
Yeah.
noticed that he
Bank heist.
cuts the ears off? Like, he almost fucking, there's a lot of scenes where he frames it where there's no ears in a lot of it when
Interesting.
Batman's talking. I've noticed that because I started picking up on that. I'm like, it's a fucking James Bond movie where he's wearing a mask, where they don't even show you the ears, because it's like, yeah, fuck the ears, fuck the superhero. It's not about that. It's about, like, sorry to cut you off, but I just, like, noticing the cinematography recently. I think there's a lot to be said about that, especially with the Lucius character. That's basically your Q. You have a Q in the whole fucking thing.
Yeah,
like,
here's a character who was like barely in the comic books until 2005, right? And now he's like always Batman's confidant. I was like, how many motherfuckers know this story? But I would
And
still
all
say,
of his sons are involved in the Bat family now. Like,
Exactly.
all of them.
oh, of course, you have to do that now. He needs 45 kids. I think the movies are really impeccably made. Although I will say one of the things that always frustrated me about The Dark Knight is there's a lot of weird, sloppy edits, and not like they're poorly done. And I feel like such an asshole saying that, but like, there are those moments where you're just like, wait, what the fuck? The one that has driven me crazy since I saw it in theaters, to the point that, especially when it came out, I was notorious amongst my friends for falling asleep during movies, no matter what time of day it was.
Yeah.
Right?
Mark Borison?
And it's absurd, right? And I would just be like, I just time travel, and then 30 minutes of the movie would go by. But I remember thinking it's the scene where Heath Ledger first breaks into Batman's like condo, and he holds Maggie Gyllenhaal at the window, and Batman just sneaks through Batman dives out the window to save Maggie Gyllenhaal, and Joker and his goons are in Bruce Wayne's apartment still with all the other elite people, and then it just it just cuts, and it's like the next day, and I was like,
they just leave.
But
Did I
wait,
miss?
the
Yeah.
resolution. What the fuck happened upstairs? Did he murder everybody? Did he
and
waltz
that
out
was
of
always
there?
a question, right? And that was always a question. And I know that's like not that important in the grand scheme of things, so it's very nitpicky. But it is a weird thing for a master of their craft like Christopher Nolan, whose movies are meticulous, dude.
Yeah.
He has to be meticulous, otherwise you could not pull off those physical stunts he does. You know what I mean? If you saw Tenet, that 747 crash, or in The Dark Knight when he flips the semi in the middle, I mean, he did that practically on Whacker
And the plane. The plane in
that's
the
right.
sky.
Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy shit. So it's like you are this like meticulous filmmaker, and so I always wondered about the scene in question where I was like, did you guys like fuck up and forget to shoot a scene, or did they just make you edit up 30 seconds out of the movie, and that was the 30 seconds you had to lose?
Maybe Batman went up there and beat all their asses. Nah, probably not.
Get
But
out,
here's
get
a
out of
fun
my
fact.
apartment.
Here's a fun fact. I did learn recently in The Dark Knight Rises that there is a scene where you see Bane knitting. And I guess that was like a big part of his character when
I would have put a gun in my mouth in the theater and shot myself and traumatized everyone in front of me if I saw Bane knitting like a grandma with his fucking yes.
Well, he's walking. Here's the
working on
thing
my
about it,
cross
Cody.
stitch.
The scene that he does it in, and you may not remember, is where Catwoman and him were fighting up on top of a rooftop or something.
I haven't got to rewatch that pilot dog shit.
Bane's walking up, and then he sees the bat plane for the first time. He's walking up to him knitting. Like he's knitting as he's walking up to fucking fight and square up with Batman and Catwoman. It's so weird. Look it up on Google if you guys are listening.
Catwoman
I've been
was
knitting
hot
this
as fuck
mask.
in that movie.
I was born in the Joanne fabrics.
You don't know anything about Michaels.
Yeah.
That's the version of Bane I want.
Well, the original treatment of The Dark Knight Rises had to do with the Joker, like, right? They're gonna do like the original Dark Knight Returns Frank Miller thing, like Batman's back is broken, which I love that fucking like the 55-year-old Batman that's like broken his body down. They put the tiny little ears. Everybody hates the tiny ears. I love the tiny ears. Fucking, I don't know if that's in The Dark Knight Rises, but I'm just saying in general, what the thing that they're doing, they're cherry picking from that. The Joker is supposed to come back, and then Heath Ledger dies. He wants to respect his performance.
Yeah,
Christopher Nolan, like Mark was saying earlier, might be a contractual obligation. I don't think that it was. I think that he did decide to come back. I don't think that he was signed for for an entire trilogy. This was something that kind of started the trilogy thing. Like, but not started. I mean, you've got Star Wars,
but like guaranteed we'd get a third. Like the Dark Knight was. I don't think anybody thought the Dark Knight was going to do what it did, and then
after that, it's a sealed deal for other deals.
Look, you got to think too that movie was what 2007, and the landscape of pop culture was not what it is now.
Not at
realistically, the Marvel movies didn't even exist, and they changed everything for better or worse.
But like the original,
they were being written and planned and ready to blow everyone's fucking mind.
True.
Yeah. But the original treatment for this had to do with like the Joker coming back for this like grand finale, because that's the that's the villain. There's other villains. They're all side villains compared to the Joker in the Batman universe. So like they didn't finish Joker's story. Like that's gonna end at some point. And in the Dark Knight Returns, it ends because Batman finally has to fucking kill the Joker. Like it's over. Like he's a broken bat. Like he's a completely fucking. He doesn't kill him, but he kills him. I mean, it's basically where it gets to or whatever. And fucking. Like
so many of those, they just kind of pulled punches a little bit. You know what I mean? That's sort of what
they use Bane, a fucking throwaway character, and they try to turn him into some like leading role and use Tom Hardy, who's popular at the time. And none of it made any fucking sense. And they didn't do Bane the way that he was in any of the comics because they have to make him real world Bane, so he can't be shot full.
They
of
made
fucking,
him real world Moscow Bane.
Yeah.
They made him real world Moscow, not luchador drug using Bane.
Exactly,
which is who he is.
Hold on. I'm not a super expert on this whole Bane thing, but from what I've read, based on this Bane, he's based off of a League of Shadows ex-member or something, and he's really fucking smart and all this shit. And that was like the Bane in the
right.
comics.
No one remembers that Bane that likes Batman because that Bane
injecting.
sucks dick. Everyone wants a luchador Bane that's shot full of fucking venom.
Yeah, I want to see the green wires coming out of his fucking dome into his ripped
where he's like
arm.
a Hulk
The only good part,
I want to see him beat ass.
The only good part of that Joel Schumacher piece of fucking abortion that you can watch is watching Bane get shot full, and then he's freaking out and he's got the fucking spike collars on in his face. That's dope. That is dope as fuck. Like that's what the Bane that I want.
You just need to blend the two characters. You need it because the thing is, Bane was still smart. He wasn't like a brute only. It was like when he juiced, he was still like smart Banner. You know what I mean? Where he's like, I'm still fairly intelligent.
Doc Samson.
Doc Samson. Nice.
Yep. Dude, that would be fucking sick.
Which I cannot wait for them to bring the fall of that version of Hulk that we saw in Endgame. Oh, I cannot wait to see the brutal fall of it.
I wish. So here's the thing. I really think. I don't think we're ever getting closure on that, boys.
I'll be back.
I really don't. Yeah. That like. I love Infinity War so much. I did not feel the same way about Endgame. Like it's like the punchline to a joke, right? Where you're like the punchline's cool, but like the setup is really incredible.
Yeah.
So I like Endgame a lot, but man, like so many things I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. And I was really mad that they do this shit in Marvel every so often that really annoys me. And they did it in Endgame, which was like a large plot point of Infinity War was the Hulk problem, right? Like, oh shit, Bruce can't get it up, right? Well, and they were like, we're definitely going to address this, but they didn't. They were just like, yeah, he just goes to a diner. He's like, oh, no, I totally just figured it out. Anyway, do you want some of these absurd eggs? And then they do the pictures.
Tacos?
Right. And they like, and they do it for a joke. And it's one of the things that frustrates me the most about Marvel movies versus Marvel comics, which is that they're so quick to make a joke, sometimes at the expense of character, to make it easy for like the general audience just to be like, oh, it doesn't matter. But like them not explaining the Hulk thing made me so upset. And so then, and the reason I think that this is going to be the way they handle a lot of serious shit moving forward, if you saw the second Spider-Man movie, they literally gloss over the blip in a funny gag in the opening of the movie. They're just like, oh, everybody came back and look, all the marching band students bumped into each other and that's it. And this is like this horrifying experience that would probably
WandaVision, for example.
Right. Which they, and so I was so glad that they did show it seriously there, because that scene in the hospital, I was like, this is what the fuck I expected. I almost wish they had like just
and shit.
Yeah, they almost shouldn't have talked about it in the Spider-Man movie outside of a few awkward scenes for the kids. But like they'll do that sometimes, and it frustrates the shit out of me. And I am kind of afraid WandaVision's like the most interesting shit's gonna get for them for a while. And even though it is still kind of following their format, it was one of the first times I think in the like 10 years that they've been doing this where I'm like, you took like an hour and a half at least of wild chances, because I had a lot of people that love the Marvel shit that dropped out early because they're like, this is too weird. What the fuck is going on? You know what I mean?
Well, because they're not watching everything.
Right. What that hospital scene of WandaVision made me think of like just how chaotic like it really could be. Like, yeah, there were people running around in the hallways and the lobby and like doctors and nurses unavailable, but like, now think of this. Say like emergency room 1A, right? At the time of the snap, they're doing like an appendectomy. This motherfucker's stomach is open and everything.
Right.
Thanos snaps his fist back in Wakanda. Appendectomy patient disappears into ash, right?
Right.
So 5 years pass. Emergency room 1A, they're doing a fucking transplant of some sort. They're like removing an organ.
Yeah.
They get this. Hulk snaps his fingers. Does that appendectomy patient show up like next to him,
up on
still
top of him.
slit open, like like what's going on in that type of realm?
Or the people
That's
that
a
are
question.
like that were on planes, like in thousands of feet in the air, and they've snapped out of existence. They're just getting reappeared in 5,000 or 30,000 or whatever fucking feet they were at, and they just drop.
And so
but there's other dark things where like people are getting married or things like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what sometimes bums me. What bums me out about a lot of pop culture adaptations, like when it comes, especially, I think comics are a great example since they are typically doing adaptations of either existing storylines or whatever. And the thing that frustrates me, this is the only complaint I really ever have about the Marvel movies, because otherwise I really enjoy them, but they are very quick to be funny and not thoughtful in certain ways. I mean, think about how crazy the internet went for the first time you ever had a serious line of dialogue in one of these movies about emotion with the whole, is grief not love persevering? And the internet blew the fuck up over that because the bar has been set kind of fucking low. And as much as that sounds like a cute line, it's like one of those turn of phrase moments that every screenwriter writes and it's like, you know what I mean? Like, and so it's, I don't know. Yeah. There's as soon as you start thinking about the snap, you're like, there's so many fucking problems that we're just going to not ever talk about that the comics would address. And so it always bums me out as a fan of both going like, the reason we love the comics is because they were light and fun, but they also had serious moments to let you know that like, it's not always light and fun and there are stakes here. And I think that's why I liked Infinity War so much, because it's still funny, but it's like, at the end of the day, you're like, oh shit, they're killing a lot of people. Right.
Yeah,
but that's what makes me like WandaVision, for example, because like 80% of it you're like having a good time, and then there's this 20% where everybody's like, all the sound in the world goes away, and everybody's looking at each other like, is this was this a nightmare? Like, what the fuck's going on? Some weird
Right.
Twilight Zone shit.
Well,
But I also want to say like this real quick, because I know that within that 5-year gap, Marvel really opened themselves up to not really go too far past like the Thanos thing and have to even delve into it, because they can just go back into that 5 years. I think that's what they're doing with like Black Widow. Am I wrong? Like they're doing that
Yeah, I think
before
that's
Endgame, and
right.
maybe that will explain a little bit more on like all this shit. I don't know. I'm really
That's where they'll
stoked
put the
for
Luke
Taskmaster.
Skywalker show. You know.
Yeah.
I think a lot of good things are going to come from this blip. Potentially if they're smart and hop on it. Like there's this one thing that I continue to bring up to people because I just don't hear people talking about it. If it hasn't been obvious enough, but in the first Spider-Man movie, I believe it is, where he's talking to Donald Glover's character in the parking garage after he webs his hand to the car door. He reveals to Peter that he has a little nephew named Miles who's in the neighborhood, and that's why he doesn't want the weapons around, because he doesn't want his nephew hurt. If Miles survived that 5-year gap, how old would he be? Would he be old enough to suit it up?
Good point.
You know, like
Good
say
point.
he's 9 years old, 5 years pass. It's about the perfect time he got his powers in the comic books anyway. He got his powers like 3 to 4 years earlier than Peter did.
Right.
You know, yeah, he was like 13,
Yeah.
14 or something like that when he got his powers.
I just played Miles Morales on PS5, and I'm like on the whole Miles Morales hype train now.
Oh, dude, yeah,
Such a fun story.
I will say this now if I haven't said it before, but I was such a bigot purist and a hater of the Ultimate universe in the first place when it came to comics. I just hated the Ultimate Universe. I thought it was like a playground for writers to just take the characters and abuse them to do weird shit with, which is exactly what they did, and that's why they annihilated it a few years later. But to me, it was like, they're killing Peter Parker? What? You can't kill Peter Parker. He's fucking Spider-Man, dude. You
That's
can't
crazy
kill
they did
Spider-Man. And they're like, yeah, now he's a 12-year-old black kid. It's like, but what? I don't fucking get that. That's not Peter Parker. I hate this. And then it was like, I was at my first job at McDonald's, right? I'm 17 and I'm reading these comic books on my break, and I'm like, holy fuck, this is amazing. Holy fuck, this is amazing. Buy the next issue. Holy fuck, this is amazing. Holy fuck, this is amazing. Buy the next issue. And next thing I know, I'm caught all the way the fuck up, and I'm a diehard Miles fan. He's incredible.
Great character. He's a great I love that his uncle and is Childish Gambino in the movies.
Yeah.
Like, I would really like to see Childish Gambino be this anti-hero, superhero because everybody always wanted him to be Spider-Man when he was in the Community and all this shit. Great show.
Well, because they were going to make him Miles, I think originally. That was the plan, right?
Yeah.
Well, think about this. Everyone loves the Prowler. Everyone loves Miles. Everyone wants Donald Glover to be in a Spider-Man movie because he was the fan art for Miles Morales before Spider-Man came out with Tom Holland. So let's say Miles does survive the 5 years, becomes Spider-Man. Why couldn't Donald Glover be the Prowler?
I hope they introduce it in Spider-Man 3 at minimum. I know it's all about this multiverse crazy shit, Tobey Maguire and all these crazy other fucking people in the movie, but I hope at the end of it in like a post-credit scene, you get introduced to him or something, and I'll be like,
that would be fucking. You know what I would love, and this sounds stupid, but also would be awesome. I want them to go Roger Rabbit on us and have the cartoon Spider-Verse come in, at least the Miles
in
from
the
that
multiverse.
world.
Oh, that'd be cool.
If they're gonna do a multiverse Spider-Verse, or Spider movie, like a live action, I would love just a split sequence. Like it doesn't have to be long. It could be just like a few seconds. Because I would imagine if good old Tugboat Maguire and the other one, the terrible Spider-Man, what was his name, Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
I'm just like Eduardo Saverin from Facebook. If they if they put them back in there, I'm just imagining it's going to be a silly scene where it's like, Peter, use the knowledge of all of your other Peters. And then he's like, oh, don't say that. Ha ha. The audience laughs, but then they each like shoot a web strand and then everybody pulls it once. And then the last Peter is left and it's Tom Holland. You know what I mean? I assume it's going to be some corny little quick thing.
Rise of Skywalker shit.
I have to say this. I have to say this. I liked Andrew Maguire.
Well, thanks for having me on the show, guys.
I liked Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, not as Peter Parker.
I can give you that.
But
Spider-Man,
I liked
Peter
him
Parker,
as
terrible.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He, to me,
What was he
so
too hot
far-
for you to be fucking Peter Parker? Like he was just
No,
too sexy.
no, he just
No,
wasn't.
he's just
too
He
fuckable.
wasn't Peter
Confident.
Parker. To me,
He was just like,
wasn't Peter
he was
Parker.
just a fucking
He was
cool guy.
Yeah, he was cool, like skateboarder. Like,
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
cool with everybody.
Yes, everything that I just said.
Flash.
I got
Peter Parker,
Tom
but-
Holland has given me my favorite Spider-Man performance across the board. I feel like so far,
But
he's
to
definitely
me-
like young Spider-Man, and I get that. But I'm like, definitely gets like a combo of he's funny enough, he's awkward, and I love that Flash Thompson is just a bigger nerd rather than like a traditional bully.
Yeah.
But
I
my
like that
thing
too. I
is
really like
the I haven't in the two films that he's been in. To
Mm-hmm.
me, at least I thought he embodied it a bit more in Civil War. When he's in the suit, he's not that quippy with the villains.
That's true.
He's not that quippy, and that's the thing about
It's usually really
Spider-Man.
serious
He's
in
scared
these
and
movies.
uncomfortable, so
In-
he gets
do you say that
quippy, and it pisses off the villains at the
Right.
same time.
Do you say in Civil or Infinity War?
In Civil War,
See, I thought he was funny in Civil War.
I
Yeah,
did too. I did too.
Oh, okay. I'm
That's
sorry.
what I
I
was saying.
misunderstood.
I was saying that it's in Civil War alone. I thought he may have embodied that.
Yeah.
Especially with his intro shield catching scene.
Oh, that was great.
1,000,000%. Yeah.
I love the one that always cracked me up the most is when he gets swung on by Winter Soldier. He grabs. He's like, "Dude, you got a metal arm, sweet!" And I just was like, "That's like so genuine," and the delivery was so beautiful. I was like, "Oh, I love this kid."
Yeah. That his fight with him and Falcon was very Spider-Man-y for sure. The whole have you guys seen that really old movie? You know, and he's talking about fucking Star Wars. I was like, okay,
So good.
that's for sure a new age Spider-Man joke.
Yeah.
You know?
It was good. He did a great job.
Yeah,
I
he's
feel like
a
it's the only
good
thing
kid.
Tom Holland's good in. I feel like he
Dude,
sucks in everything
what was that?
else.
What was that fucked up movie he was in on
The
Netflix?
Devil All the Time? The Devil All the Time with Robert
That was
Pattinson?
so good.
Okay, I'll give him that. That was a pretty decent movie, but I wouldn't say it's just because of him. But they had like
Robert
fucking
Pattinson's
Dudley.
a killer too.
That's a fact. Yeah.
And they had like Dudley from Harry Potter in it. And he
Well,
was
he's
doing
supposed to
he
be-
spiders on himself and shit.
He's supposed to be in a new, pretty gritty film called Cherry. Yeah.
It got terrible ratings.
Ah,
That was
fuck the critics. I'm still checking it out.
Yeah.
I'm curious too because, a lot of the reviews seem to be like they didn't seem to understand the source material properly. Where they were like, "Oh yeah, it's like funny," and it's like really not a funny movie, kind of a thing, you know?
This dude is trying
we
to be,
get it.
Yeah,
This dude's trying to be fucking Nathan Drake.
I don't buy that. That's the worst casting
What are you
yet.
talking about?
Yeah.
I completely agree.
And
that's
Nathan
a
Drake needs to
terrible
be like
choice.
35. Like,
Unless
you know what
they're
I mean?
doing like an Uncharted prequel.
And I
The
hate
early-
prequel.
That's what it is.
Hey, did you ever
years.
wonder what your favorite characters were doing before the important parts of their lives? Well, don't worry. We're going to make a bunch of movies.
It's fucking Nathan Drake in high school trying to find the treasure chest to like the fucking box of condoms or something. on
What's
campus.
what's the old man he works with too? Is it like Scully or he has some
Sully.
stupid name?
It's
Sully.
Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, but
Mark
that's even.
Wahlberg is that dude. That
See,
just
it
makes it so much
Here's
worse.
how they should have
just
cast
played
it as Mark Wahlberg as Nathan Drake and Tom Hanks as Sully. That seems a little more age appropriate
Hanks would-
overall.
Tom
Nathan
Hanks actually did a
Fillion.
really good Sully.
Nathan
Oh,
Fillion.
that yeah.
Nathan Fillion is the
Nathan
only
Fillion.
person who should have played him. Did you see that video of like
He
the third
looks-
person?
He
He
did that
looks like
fan.
him.
Didn't he do a little fan film of it
He
or
did
something
like-
like that?
Yeah, I just beat Uncharted 4 and I'm like on an Uncharted kick right now.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, he did this like video where it was like it's a fan made thing, you know, it was just fan requested. He just played himself and then it went behind him and it was like you were playing the game, but it was Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake doing these like shootouts and shit. It was awesome. It was like
That's
10
awesome.
minutes. It was a good time.
I'll definitely check that out. I love Nathan Fillion too.
Great.
I mean, by the way, my suggestion of Mark Wahlberg was more just that they already had him on the cast, and that was where he should be instead. Because I don't think I'd buy him as Nathan Drake. Can you imagine him like, I don't know what funny things to say, you know?
Like, that's fine. You're doing a good job.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Mark, how much more time you got, man?
How much more time do you guys want?
We're gonna do the ad reads right now, and then after that, we're gonna do about. I need a 5-minute cigarette break, and I gotta play maybe 10 minutes because I gotta put my kids to bed and stuff like that. Okay. After that, we're gonna do about an hour on the Patreon until 10 o'clock. That's when we turn into a pumpkin.
I'll hang out. I'll probably hang out until at least about like 9:30 ish or so. If that sounds good. Well, let's say 9:30.
Is it cool for us to just record while you do that, Cody?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Let's do the.
Would you guys hate if I took a quick pee break?
No, both of you go do your thing. We'll do our reads, and then
are you guys gonna do the reads without me?
Out.
All right, yeah, I'll edit the pause out. No, that'll make it way fucking harder for me. Why don't we just hurry up with the reads? All right, fuck it. I'll just get
let's just knock it out real quick.
You going, Patrick?
Yeah. I want to give a quick shout out to Scarlet Vape and Smoke. Actually, Luke, why don't you take it over because that's your.
Guys, I have to wait until at least 9 because that's when my kids go to bed. So I gotta wait. Just do the reads.
Yeah, just go into Scarlet Vape. Let's start with them.
Okay, so if you guys want to get some amazing, wonderful quality, top of the line heady glassware, or perhaps you use Kratom for God knows what. You want to head on over
for black tar heroin use. If you're shooting black tar heroin right into your nutsack,
shut
you're
up!
Tired
This
of
is an
that,
ad read. Don't
you're tired of
put
that.
black tar heroin in an ad read. You
no,
idiot.
I'm saying if you don't like black tar heroin anymore, you start taking Kratom, which is kind of like black tar heroin without all the black tar.
Oh my
if
god!
If you want
and the
top
heroin.
of the line, fucking, I hate Cody so much. If you
the
want
last
top of the line
sponsor.
heady glassware, or Kratom, or fucking papers, or just about anything related to smoke or smoke aesthetic or smoke tool or usage, you want to head over to Scarlet Vape and Smoke Shop. And they have 2 locations, just in case one isn't close enough to you. They have one at 11424 Montgomery Road, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45249. And their other one is at 937 Monmouth Street, Newport, Kentucky, 41071. Go into Scarlet Vape and Smoke Shop and let them know you're a bastard, and they'll give you a 15% fucking discount. 15.
I'll tell you,
Jesus Christ.
best artificial black tar heroin in the city.
God, I hope Cody dies. He's losing all of our sponsors.
Kratom. It's better than black tar heroin. All right, next sponsor.
Do they actually sell Kratom there?
Yes, and he's saying black tar heroin.
Yeah.
You're like, well,
they probably won't like that.
Well, thanks for that, Cody.
you can edit around it, right? You're like, anyway.
No, he won't.
I won't
He
do
won't.
that.
He might
No.
put in the intro to this.
Right, yeah.
Might.
Oh my God.
Now it's a for sure thing. It's the name of the sponsor. It's the name of the ad. Or the ad. Jesus, what's wrong with my mouth? It's the name of the episode now. Go ahead, Pat.
Quick shout out to Cody Best at Clifton Barbers at 337 Ludlow Avenue. If you go to Clifton Barbers on Instagram or Facebook, you can go ahead and check out his profile. No walk-ins at the moment due to COVID. It's appointment only. You can also do online booking. I just got a haircut there through online booking, and it was super easy. Go in there and hit up Cody Best. It's 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. through 4 p.m. on Saturday. And then also check out my art page at Dark Mountain Cult on Instagram. I'm drawing a lot of horror-themed Pokemon lately, and it's a ton of fun. And
that latest one was pretty fucking
Victory
brutal.
Bell?
Yeah, Victory
Is
Bell
that
was
stupid?
awesome. That was such an original. No, that wasn't stupid. That was
Well,
like
I think it's stupid because
like
it's
real
ridiculous.
idea. Like I could imagine like a deep forest, like rain jungle in the Pokemon world, and then there's just Victory Bells, and you fall into its mouth, and it just digests you and shit.
If you guys like
Planet of Tree World.
One of my favorite things that I did with that is that instead of like regular eyes, I gave it like beady little spider eyes, and I just thought that was super creepy.
It gave a scarier feel to it.
And I mean,
so,
Pat, genuinely, like if you like black tar heroin, I feel like you'll really like Dark
God,
Mountain
shut
Cult.
up, Cody. I fucking hate you so much. We're also sponsored by Crunch Bite Gaming. If you guys like checking
Black
out
tar heroin.
Twitch streamers on twitch.com, go on over to twitch.tv/crunchbitegaming and give them a follow. Crunchbite is Clint Young. He is a family member of mine. He is my cousin, but he is a huge supporter of the Bastard Sermon, of Kneel to No One, of many of our artist friends, Star Silk for sure. But go ahead and give him a follow. He is live every Thursday at 1 p.m. and every other day when his work schedule allows. He's basically streaming every day from what I've seen. He streams Minecraft all the time. He's done some Rocket League. He's doing some RPGs recently. I know he does Genshin Impact a lot, but it's a good time. Go follow him. And check out any of the affiliates from the Crunch Bunch. They were once known as the Beard Brigade, but they are now Crunch Bunch. He's got about 4 or 5 followers, but go check them all out and give them a follow.
Yeah, if Black Tar Heroin's your thing, you'll be into it. This episode, as all episodes, is sponsored by the amazing
Black Tar Heroin.
What is it actually?
We should have stopped. The amazing, the talented, the incredible, the long dick
Black Tar
wizard.
Heroin.
Is this how it felt to read reads while I was screaming
Yes.
Black Tar Heroin? Okay, now I understand your frustration just a bit. One more time for good measure. The talented Luke, that was your moment. Black Tar Heroin. Anthony Tank Mansfield. Go and check out his new line of that's right, I said it, his new line of glassware. If you enjoyed the Hop Thulu glass that he had, the 16-ounce Hop Thulu glass, now he's got it in I don't know if it's Venom Green or Slime Green, but I know it looks dope as fuck, and it's fucking amazing. It's got the Kneel to No one on one side and the Hop Thulu design on the other. Go and buy that shit. I think he's got 70-something of them. Once they're gone, bitches. You can't buy any more of them. You can't buy any more of the black ones. I got one. If you dropped it and broke it, you're out of luck, but you can get a new one. Go and fucking buy that shit. Go and check out any of his other beer glasses, any of his enamel pins, any of his fantastic t-shirts, none of which have ever warped on me in the dryer, none of which have ever faded on me. I wear them constantly. I wear them to work in a fucking high-stress environment. They're fantastic prints. Go and buy his shit. $30 designs. Art starting at $30. All right, I was distracted by alcohol and Black Tar Heroin being shouted out every 4 seconds. Yeah, buy our people shit. All right, I'm turning it off. I'm turning the Patreon back on, and then I'm going to put my kids to bed while you guys talk. But Pat's not here, so I can't do that. Goodbye.
Well, you can go, and then Luke and I will just sit here and you can determine later if it was worth our time.
Mark, did you fucking did you plug any of your shit? We're still on the
I didn't get to plug anything yet.
Please,
really.
God, plug. You should have done this way. I'm gonna have to cut this in way earlier.
It's
plug
fine.
all your
I'll
shit.
say I have a few notes. I'll send them to you when we're done. Shit, what the fuck was I saying now? Okay, follow me at themarketing.com, like darkening, but with an M. Themarketing.com. That'll redirect to the Mark Facebook page. You can follow me at The Marketing on Instagram. I really want to grow my Instagram and Twitter following. So at The Marketing on Instagram. I am at The Mark Rants on Twitter, even though I don't rant much there because I'm trying to be happy. You can hear me co-hosting The Prep List, which is a podcast hosted by Food Network superstar Christian Gill, also a Cincinnati native currently. He is the owner and head chef of Boomtown Biscuits and Whiskey, located in Pendleton, downtown Cincinnati. But you should definitely check out that show. We're covering. That's the podcast I can tell you about. We are covering all kinds of like myths in the food world. Our first episode, as of the time of this, I don't know when this will drop.
Sunday,
but
this Sunday.
Okay, so I would assume, I don't know if we're dropping another one this week yet or not, but we at least have the first episode is live now. It's, for example, the first episode is us comparing onions to shallots and why you should use shallots instead of onions. And so it's that kind of thing. We talk about things like MSG and different
I love that shit.
fruits. Yeah, it's a really informative show. Christian's really funny too, and we play off each other pretty well. I'd say by like the third episode we recorded, we hit that groove of me not being self-conscious around someone I don't work with very often, where I'm like, how much me do you want?
Where do we get this, Mark? Is this Spotify? Are we talking about
it is
iTunes?
Literally everywhere. Yeah,
everywhere.
iTunes, Spotify, what's a Spreaker? I think it's on SoundCloud, but yeah, look at the Prep List. You'll see Christian's name mentioned for sure. It's either listed as just the Prep List or the Prep List with Christian Gill. I would highly recommend checking that out if you're interested in food. And yeah, stay tuned to my social channels if you want to find out why someone is building me a golden banana throne.
Fuck yeah, 100%, dude. We love you, Mark. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this. And
I love you guys. Thanks for having me. I like doing podcasts. If anyone out there is like, I want to talk to that guy, hit me up. I'd love to do this.
He's the best. And he also, thank you for giving me work.
Mansfield.
Like, you commissioned me to do some Fuck Your Ranch work. Wait, what?
was saying Mansfield, hit this guy up for an interview. Do a podcast with him.
Yeah, definitely. Go get fucking on Mansfield's new podcast. I hit him up.
I would love it.
Yeah.
Feel free to refer me. What were you saying though about something about while Luke was saying
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Everybody
But it's
go
probably
and check
really
out
kind.
Mark.
Thanks.
Something
I've
about
got some
black
other-
tar
I've got
heroin,
some-
I'm sure.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of movies and commercials. There's a couple commercials I've shot in the last few months that you'll see me in. This is actually a funny anecdote. I just did a medical ad recently, and I thought this was really the crew is really awesome. I get to work with one of my favorite directors here in town, a guy named Dave Morrison. He's just a super cool dude, and I found out on set this last time we both love 70s prog rock, so I'm glad to have that bonding moment. But
Fuck
what was
yeah,
really
dude.
funny about this spot is that I was playing like a foreman for a construction group. And we had to shoot the ad because of COVID. We had to shoot the ad twice. So once nobody in masks, and then other alternate versions with masks on and different mask placements, things like that. It was kind of interesting. It's the first commercial I've had to do where they've done multiple takes, or multiple versions of it. I thought that was really cool. So I don't know which one will air, but you'll see me in a truck on a phone talking to my doctor. Doctor,
yeah, man.
Yes.
But
Can't wait to check that out. You're
yeah,
a
I've
great
been
guest, dude.
Thanks, dude. I
You
appreciate
want to
it.
do
Thank you.
20, 30 minutes on the Patreon, and then we'll
Yeah, I'll
have you
come
bounce?
talk on the Patreon. This is the paid content, so get excited, everybody. If you know what, you should subscribe. You guys gassed up my potential Patreon, so let me gas yours up. These guys are doing a thankless job right now of supporting other creators like myself, supporting local businesses like the ones they mentioned in all the ad drops, and they're creating this content for you on a regular basis. And this is exactly why Patreon exists. So you should do the thing that I like to do, which is give and support those people. And stop supporting fucking Neil Breen and Tommy Wiseau, because they shouldn't be allowed to make things. Interesting, fun people should be allowed to make things and get your support. Now, I'm
Beautiful
sort of kidding
words.
about those two, but I really mean it, guys. So thank you again for having me. Truly.
Thank you. We'll be right back on the Patreon. Check it out. Bastard Sermon on Patreon. We'll be right back. I'm going to put my kids to bed.